Fuck! I'm unmuted, people. That's it. That's the intro. Was that fun? I like that. That was great. Fucking hate VLC.
Dang.
Hey, don't talk shit about VLC. Shit about Xbox all day long. I don't feel.
We'll just go with it. It's just playing. I don't know why. Whatever. Yes. Midnight Chat. Lorian now. No, screw it. I'm not doing anything. I'm not waiting for Anthony to dance again. Stupid. God. Oh, she's digging it. Oh, look at it. Wait, Trey, were you dancing earlier too, baby? Come on, let's get this going. Oh. Yeah, whatever. I'm wiping the fucking windshield. Yeah, people, it's a midnight chat attack. I'm sorry, y'all. Listen, I was chilling. I was ready when the high score started. I was all like, "Woo, let's do this!" And I just kind of got relaxed. The high score is such a great show. I kind of just sat there and kind of, I'm back in my chair, all comfy and everything. I don't want to do anything. Shit. But we're here though. It's great. I'm excited. Alan, I feel sorry for you. Just dealing with our dumbasses all the time. Yeah, people. When we're watching the high score, we're just dancing, acting a fool, and Alan was here to deal with it. And that's the whole situation. But here's the thing, though. By the way, too, Trey, thank you very much for coming on once again. And I'm glad to see your face.
Trey, right now?
I mean, I dressed up for a wrestling show. I'm wearing my AJ Styles shirt. Ringside Hangouts. Where we at?
No, ringside hangouts, because then everyone's gonna get mad. I know Adrian's gonna be in the chat too, talking shit. You know how they are. But here's the thing, though. A big part of the show tonight was going to be E3 and whatnot. And I know that High Score did a lot of E3 talks, so I don't want to repeat everything they said. So we're just gonna skip that. I mean, I think we're all in agreement of that. Like, Allie, what do you think about that? Is it breaking your heart?
Not really, since we already talked about it in the midweek. So.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, we're all just going to shit on it. So, like, fuck it. Hey, E3 kind of sucked in some ways. It was good in other ways. Blah, 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 blah. If you guys want to bring it up in the after hours, we can. We can nerd out all night. I don't mind doing that. But, I mean, I guess I just want to start right away. I'm not going to show the YouTube channel. We already seen the YouTube channel 1,000 times. So I'm not doing that. But there are rules that we need to freaking to follow, man. And Trey, I'm going to give this to you, sir. Take over. Do the Ganja voice. Go ahead. The whole fucking thing.
All right, guys. So newcomers want to call first. Rule 2: don't talk over each other. Talking over each other. Rule number 3: please no nudity. Chicago John, yeah, don't be showing your bare ass. Rule number 4, and I'm gonna be serious about this one. Don't give anyone the link. We got this prepared. We don't need to be giving nobody else the link, because I'll mess everything up. And rule number 5: Alley girl.
Alley girl.
Read the rules and don't be a mean person!
Her mom is in the room right now.
Yeah.
What the heck?
How is she not used to it at this point? It's been over a year.
Hey, essentially, Ellen's saying, why is she not used to her saying, or oh man, I fucked up my joke. I fucked up my own joke. Let's see, why is she not used to dick? But
wow,
sorry.
You sketched on that one. Holy shit!
I'm sorry, I fucked up so bad.
Man.
No, man, but dude, so here's the thing. We were talking to, and I was really hyped about this particular thing because this shit was fucking hilarious. But apparently Wendy's is having a sign war with a rep across the street. Oh, and by the way, too, before you even get into this, people, we want to get in the call. I'll give you a link to, and just message Alley Girl, Birdman, or Trey Cooper, and I'll give you a link to the call. You can join in, and we can just shoot the shit and have fun. But here's the thing, though. Is Wendy's is not being very friendly, and they don't want to be working with other people because apparently, and God, I don't know what the name of the restaurant that's across the street, but it has nothing to do with fast food. But these guys are going at it, like, writing things on their signs. Like, Birdman, you said you read about this, like, the last couple of days. Like, what do you know about this so far?
What it is there's a store across the street. They're called Pure Water, and I think all they're doing is iced tea water kind of refreshments. And they have, their signs up, posts like you see every fast food joint has, or every single store has some sort of sign at the front. And apparently, for some fucking reason, Wendy's and Pure Water are just going back and forth trading insults for the last couple of weeks, apparently. And people are just photographing this, not sure exactly why they're fighting, but have noted that it is fucking hilarious.
It is, man. I love this shit, dude. I love when people are just constantly, fighting. I love how Wendy's has always been doing this. Like, the person behind it has always been just talking shit to people, etc. Double Toast talked about this a whole lot too.
Oh yeah.
But are you, like, Allie and Trey, are you guys used to the whole, like, Wendy's tweets? Have you guys been following this for, however long this has been happening?
Well, I mean, I haven't been following, but it's just like I'll just one day I'll be like, I what new tweets Wendy's has. I'll go on and read and I'll have a really good laugh because their stuff's just always entertaining. I'm just like, man, if I had to pick any fast food, if I could live with, I'd be like Wendy's because I 100% support their marketing.
Yeah.
It's the best thing ever. So it's freaking awesome that actually like a physical store Wendy's is actually having a beef.
Yeah.
Pun intended. With
Oh,
this,
don't you do that shit.
no, with this like water and iced tea. With this water and iced tea company, it has nothing to do with what they sell. It's just hilarious to me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of wondering too. Like, even like, I mean, this is not even about that iced tea place, but just like, like, hey, can you find me the nearest McDonald's? Like, yeah, here they are, right in the trash can. Like, shit like that. It's like, I don't think McDonald's has done something to warrant that kind of response. Like, it's just goddamn.
Oh, they've been beefing forever. Burger King did the same thing with the what was it? They made their own Egg McMuffins, but they made them just super cheap.
Yeah.
Like, this shit's been happening a lot.
I wonder if some kind of like dramatization is going to be happening with like Cheetos and Burger King with the mac and Cheetos. Like, hey, motherfuckers, like, you got my shit, the whole thing. But Justin, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing all right, all things considered.
Yeah, no, I read in the chat, man. You pissed somebody off, were you writing tweets about them, telling them that they're trash, like fucking Wendy's over here?
No, not quite. I am no good at trash talking. You know me, so.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, you fucking suck. No, but I don't know, man. I love this whole thing with Wendy's, though, man. Like, I'm just so like surprised that like this got so big, and now it's like, because the person behind this stuff, her name's Amy Brown, apparently, which she's fine as shit. Like, I looked up a picture, and actually, that's not her, but that is. She fine. But here's the thing, though, is like she's not even part of this whole Wendy's thing that's happening, like, with the two stores going at it across the street. Do you think they're just like copying her because they're like, hey, man, like it works on Twitter, let's do this for real? Like, it's kind of weird how, it's turned into
this
real.
Is what happens when you have two business owners that have a really good sense of humor.
Yeah.
Trading jokes back and forth.
Yeah, man, it's just weird. Like, I'm looking at these other tweets too, man. Like, I love this whole. I just picked up the same one. I guess I wrote the same link. People, I'm just fucking up all over the place today. Holy shit, right? But yeah, man. But I'm glad that you got my link over here, Justin. I didn't get any other PMs, and I don't know if Trey and Alan, you guys are as well. But people, just make sure to come on in. I'll give you a link, etc. We can talk about some movies and stuff because the big thing tonight is Flex and Chill.
Yeah, nobody wants to talk to me. Nobody wants to talk to you. Nobody wants to talk to anybody, apparently.
Yeah, everyone's all upset today. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, what's up? I woke up like 10 minutes ago. Did the world end and I didn't know it?
Yeah, shit.
Maybe.
Yeah, but
Some apocalypse happened. No.
But this question, I'm actually going to start with a community question. This thing has actually been kind of like in the oven for a while. We haven't really brought it up, and it's been like 2 weeks, I believe. So while bringing this up, I guess we could start off with maybe Alan. I'll have you start off answering the question. But this is from Cedric, our boy Cedric. Love this guy. The question is, what's a funny dream you or someone you know had that has always stuck out to you? I can't read. I need glasses.
I got some good ones.
You know what? Let Justin do it. I got a couple that I'm racing through my head right now.
Okay, cool. Go ahead, Justin.
Okay, so this is one that I had, 2 years ago or something like that. I don't know how this started, just me watching random movies before, but I went to sleep that night, and I was involved in this dream where it was a murder mystery, but it was in the style of Les Miserables. So throughout the entire dream, I am singing. And every single line of dialogue, so we have like big monologues in my dream, and me and police officers and other people were just like, the investigation's happening this way. We should get going on to the other side of the building.
I would have shot myself in the dream if that was the fucking universe I was living in.
Oh my gosh. It was, I felt like such a theater nerd for some reason. Just like, okay, so, and you know what? To my credit, I actually sounded way better in my dream than in real life, so.
Yeah, man. God damn. Like, that, honestly, kind of just the whole classiness of it, just like randomness, that's kind of scary in itself. Like, that would just make me freak the fuck out. Like, why am I thinking this? God, no.
The subconscious is a funny thing,
But you don't know why you were, like, what do you think triggered that type of dream?
I suspect that maybe I had watched a musical, movie a couple nights before, but I couldn't remember what, so I can't really say, but it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, apparently I had Les Mis on the brain, and, I guess I really wanted to be Javert for some reason.
Oh, I wish I knew these names,
Javert.
I really...
There's also Crow. No frog in his throat like in that movie.
Oh man.
No, but how about you, Trey?
I can't think of one personally on my own, but my cousin told me this dream that still sticks out for me. I used to be a big anime fan. He was too. So he had this dream that for some reason he was Gohan from Dragon Ball Z. And
shit.
in Houston, Texas, we got this thing called Mosquito Bend because it's known for being bad about mosquitoes or whatever. And he was just flying around, having fun and all this stuff, like, yeah, ha, ha, la 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 la. And then next thing you know, my grandma was trying to wake him up. But my grandma waking him up actually like made one of the villains come named Raccoon, and he blasted him. He died in the dream, falling into the pit.
God damn.
He gave him the raccoon kick.
That dream almost made me laugh whenever I think of that shit. I'm like, man, my granny wake you up, literally killed you.
Even in your wildest dreams, Raccoon will come to kick your butt.
Yeah, what does his grandmother sound like? The raccoon was what his brain translated.
It just sounds like the dreams you guys talking about are like fever dreams almost. Like Jesus Christ. Like,
Oh, fever dreams can be really fun. I mean, mine aren't
No,
as funny in
no.
comparison, but
oh no, man, fuck that. I've had fever dreams. One time I had this fever dream, literally, where I'm like laying in my bed because I had an ear infection, and they gave me the doctor was really fucking lazy, and they gave me this weird pill that you get super high off. Because I looked it up, like the milligrams and everything, and like the first thing that comes up is high.
Straight up PCP.
Yeah, and I remember like I was dreaming, and there was a hand on my bed, like just laying next to me, and it looked like my hand, but it was turned in a way where like it was like another invisible me, but it had his like non-invisible hand on my bed. So I like sweeped it off my bed, and it was so fucking real because it was my room, nothing was different, everything felt the same. But I like shoved the hand off my bed, and like literally like I can hear it fall, and I looked down, and it crawled underneath my mattress, which by the way my mattress was on the floor. So
Damn.
how the fuck did it get underneath there? And I like for the next hour I was thinking like, oh my god, there's a fucking hand in there, and it's gonna grab me when I'm asleep. What the fuck? And
sounds like something for The Thing almost. Just like this
Yeah.
Yeah, you watch
hand
too
that
much
jumps.
horror movies, Nick.
I know that shit was fucking me up, man. But Allie, how about you? Well, what were some dreams that you?
Oh
were...
man. Okay, so this is around Halloween. So you know how on AMC they have like all the Fear Fest going on, and
Oh, yeah.
I really love Halloween, the franchise. So I'm watching a marathon of it, and I'm like, all right, yay, woo! And then like maybe a couple of weeks later, so maybe a week or so, I had this dream where I was being chased by Michael Myers, and I was like freaking out. And then I was like, hold on, I don't have to run away from this guy. So I like just stood up to me. I was like, you are not going to kill me. You are like, I just said something like, oh, you are not that bad of a person or whatever. And all of a sudden you're like, yeah, you're right. And then we like became friends, and then we started, and we like held hands, and we just like danced around in like a field full of like daisies and flowers.
Jesus
It was the weirdest
Christ.
thing. Literally, I was just like, I felt like maybe I realized I was in a dream. I was like, wait a minute, I don't have to run away from this dude. I'm just gonna tell him to stop. And he's like, you know what? You're right. I don't know why I'm doing this. And we're like,
Wow.
like, you want to go walking or running or whatever? He's like, yeah, let's just go. And we just started running and just jumping around in like a field full of flowers.
You're ruining my
Like in like the Wizard of Oz. Like in the Wizard of Oz, like when that field, like where they start falling asleep. It was similar to that. I don't know why. But that dream always stuck with me all these years.
Yeah, it makes sense why that damn dream would stick with you. But like that's the thing, like it ruined my imagery of Michael Myers, like just having like just
Hey, all you
skipping-
have to do
Sorry.
see, nobody ever was nice to him, so that's why he's an asshole. If
Yeah.
someone just said, well, "Hey, let's be friends," it would have been a different movie, man.
He's like, you don't have to do this,
Jesus Christ. Why, what's wrong with all you people? Like, God
Actually,
damn.
that reminds me of so. As a kid, I used to be afraid of spiders, like
Ooh,
like
yes.
most people. And I had this weird dream that me, my sister, and my younger brother had to fight off like a bunch of like spiders from like huge fucking spiders. And we were fighting them off like the entire night type thing. And when I woke up, I was like, oh man, that was fucked up. And ever since then, I've never been afraid of spiders. Because in my dream, we're just fighting like an army of giant ones.
No,
It
but
was
that would still scare me. Like, I mean, back then, because I mean, I had the exact same fear. Like, I'm definitely like arachnophobic. Did you watch that movie back in the day or no?
Oh, Eight-Legged Freaks?
Oh no,
Or
not that
something?
one. That one's fucking silly. But no, arachnophobia, that movie
Oh,
with Def Jam.
I didn't watch any of that spider shit because again I was terrified of spiders, so I didn't want to
Okay,
watch any
you
of the movies.
guys, I'm so sorry, but guys, please do not start posting spider gifs in the
Yeah.
Oh
chat.
god.
And my guys being
I am
Gary.
leaving.
Spider gifts? What was that?
You know somebody's
No.
gonna.
No,
No,
please
I'm
don't.
Let's shut down this chat. You know what? I'm minimizing.
Oh.
Expecting it. It's
Are you
gonna
really
happen.
that scared of spiders, dude?
They freak like they don't like once I see the picture I'm like okay whatever but like the initial like anticipation of seeing like a random close up of a spider just freaks me out.
Yeah, or like a
Like, I
gift or
just
something.
jump.
Yeah.
So like after I see it I'm like I'm okay but just the initial surprise of like oh fuck oh okay. Yeah, so
Yeah, no, I don't like
Sorry
anything
to cut
jumping
you
up.
off.
Even like it's funny too. But like I hate those gifs where it has like cats jump up towards the camera. Like just like I mean I know it's supposed to be cute, but like I hate that like jumping at me shit. Like ugh, it's fucked up. Anyways, yeah, we're all mentally just not there. But Adrian, how about you? Like I know you probably
Hey.
got some weird ass dreams that probably stuck with you. Something about Tom Hardy's ass or something.
Well, that's stuff I don't want to share, in public. But I don't know if I can top any of your guys, but I did have a weird one involving all of you guys. Not like that, but
Oh no, I need to hear this
no.
shit.
no, it's not that bad.
Yes.
We were all like in a call like this, and we were watching one of the shows, and Mia came on the show live on the air and told Corey that she was pregnant, and he just flipped the fuck out and like trashed the studio. It was hilarious, and we were all like, "What the fuck?"
That wasn't a dream.
Yeah, that's the future. You got
That's a premonition of the future.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, that's some Final Destination shit. The death of the sun.
Oh,
God
Adrian has to travel all the way across country to warn Corey of this impending event.
And Allie, just
Oh,
let you
damn
know,
it,
do not
Skull.
look in the chat at all.
yeah
damn it, Skull, you have to
I
ruin
see-
the fun.
Screw you! Screw you!
I don't know why. I'm just thinking like Patrick's like spiders.
Yeah. Making that
I'm
face
done.
he was in the Oscars video and everything. I don't know what the hell. I love that gift, by the way. I watch that shit all the time. But Ruthless, I almost called you by your real name, man. But yeah, any dreams that kind of stuck with you over time, man?
Honestly, not too many. I used to, after my father died, I had a lot of dreams, like as I was younger, like from kind of right when it happened until I was in like my mid 20s, where he would randomly show up for stuff. But, like I think the weirdest one that I still kind of remember most of what happened. I was having like a party, but people that didn't exist were there with people that did exist. I don't mean like people that didn't exist, like, oh, they're actors on a TV show. I mean like full on cartoon character, like Roger Rabbit is like sitting next to like my brother and stuff, like weird like that. Like I remember that, and then for some reason in the middle of the party, the room exploded, but instead of people dying, we all flew off because we could fly for some reason. Like
Oh,
that's
man.
about the weirdest one I
awesome.
still remember well. But yeah.
Yeah, I love the idea of that. Like, and by the way, Allie, is it your birthday?
It's not my birthday.
Okay, that's a throw
I
me
was gonna
off.
say.
Can I
I
cut
was
some
freaking out.
in
I'm
September?
like, oh my god,
Paul
did I
just
forget
said
her birthday?
happy birthday. Like, hey, there you go. Picture of spider.
Nick, I don't know why. It just sounds
Everyone
like
just
Kronk.
jumped on it. Yeah, everyone jumped in and was like, hey, happy birthday, Allie. I'm like, my birthday's not till
It's
Okay,
your
because I'm
fault.
checking Facebook, I'm starting freaking out. I'm like, oh my god, did I
I
forget?
know.
No,
Because I could have sworn it was in September. That's why I was like, no. But and that's awful. I would kind of wish it was, because like, that'd be hilarious on the show. Like, is your birthday? Yeah. Well, happy birthday to like shit.
You
Oh,
guys
man.
didn't remember. I hate all of you.
Hey, if it makes you feel any better, I don't remember anyone's birthday most of the time.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
I'm the same way.
When is my
I don't
birthday?
even remember.
I don't remember.
I don't know my dad's birthday. This is really bad. My mom. I
Aw.
only remember my mom's birthday because it's the easiest birthday to remember. It's on January 1st.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
nice.
I keep forgetting everyone's birthday, so I texted my sister happy birthday once, and the response was, "Oh, you remembered. Thank you."
Oh.
That'd be a present in itself. Like, holy shit, you remembered? No, a big thing too. People, just so you know, I mean, the night's not over yet. So, like today, I think it's Father's Day, right?
No, tomorrow's Father's Day. So
Tomorrow.
yeah, just a reminder, happy Father's Day. Make sure you say that to everybody. So
Yeah, exactly. just say that's good. Then treat him like shit for the rest of the year. But
Aw.
that's what those days exist. Like, just be nice to me one fucking day. It's like, all right, Father's Day. There you go. But no, man, I'm gonna go and bring this up. Actually, this is a nice little. Actually, it's not a segue at all. I'm just gonna fucking bring it up because I'm actually kind of interested. We
Just
talked
gonna
about this on
crowbar
the
it
show. Yeah, no, we talked about this on the show before, and basically, damn, it's like some weird commercial, so that sucks. Yeah, fuck this site. But Coco, you guys can see the name right there, Coco.
Oh,
Now, the thing is, man, I'm actually really, really liking the animation on this movie. I know I was talking shit about it a few months ago when it was first announced, etc. But have you guys seen this yet, or like Justin? Like, what do you think?
I saw it then.
Yeah, I saw it too. Yeah.
And this movie came out like last week too. Like, is this a movie that's coming out at different times in different places? Like how most of these weird.
No. If it's Coco, it's the Pixar film. That's not coming out for another several months, isn't it? Like
Yeah, I
end of
was
the
gonna
year.
say that's
They
November.
might
I
have just
think.
released it early in some places.
Yeah,
They
no.
always
So
do that.
I think they maybe do some test screenings, but basically this is the second full trailer. They had some teaser trailers they released a while back, and then the full trailer released I think 2 weeks ago, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
then
it
this
looks-
thing says 9th of June. So I was like, wait, did it come out like last week? What the fuck?
Yeah, no. So this is the trailer that they released on the 9th of June. But yeah, it looks promising. I mean, I like it's the fact that it's not a sequel from Pixar. You know, we've got so many like Cars 3, Incredibles 2 is on the horizon, that stuff. It's always nice to get new IPs. Not all of them work. I mean, I'm that guy who doesn't like Brave or the dinosaur.
Never.
Oh.
But you know, I like the idea of this whole kind of Latin culture infused storytelling. Because if anyone remembers, there was the Book of Life back in a few years back.
Oh yeah.
This is giving me some vibes of that, but maybe it might have stronger storytelling than Book of Life did.
Now, Adrian, does this kind of have your excitement for this?
It does. Like I've always been interested in the whole like Day of the Dead thing, and this looks like the animation looks good. It really looks interesting.
Yeah, and like the biggest thing for me that I was kind of hyped for, and maybe I'll move on to like Alan and Allie, etc. after this too. But the big thing I wanted to bring up is the fact that there's so many people that's worked on other good shit that I like personally. Like for instance, Toy Story, Inside Out, Finding Dory. Actually, in the trailer, it actually shows all these the creators from all these movies and franchises.
And also the director is the guy who directed Toy Story 3. So.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, okay, that kind of worries me because that fucking movie made me feel so depressed. Like,
Well,
That's why it's great.
yeah.
Yeah,
it's
everyone
great,
loves
man.
to be depressed in a movie, especially a kids movie.
Sometimes kids need to learn. They need to learn that not everything is hunky dory. Just say.
Sure, the old Yeller style of teaching kids.
Darn right. No one ever forgot that movie.
Oh no. Oh man.
but
Anyone fucking enjoys life nowadays.
no shit. But Trey, no, like I never really talked to you about this kind of stuff. I know you're a big like contributor to Anime Night and stuff like that. But do you care about Pixar at all, man?
I do to the extent where I don't really. Well, I used to really be really big into Pixar, but as of late, the only time I go to movies is when a superhero movie comes out. And I actually saw the original trailer of this at Finding Dory, and it really caught my interest where I really want to see this movie in theaters because I don't think I really care about a very big Pixar movie in a while. And I think Coco is actually going to be a really fun movie to watch in theaters. Like, I don't think I'm going to catch this on Netflix or whatever. I think I might actually go out and watch this one.
An actual matinee. That's kind of cool. That's actually badass. But yeah, like, what about you, Ruthless? Like, are you a big fan of Pixar stuff?
I'm not a huge Pixar person, but I do kind of catch ones that I think are interesting enough. I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted. I really like the book that's the movie that's really similar, Book of Life. So I'm wondering if this is gonna kind of tread the same thing. If it is, I'm probably not gonna go see it, and just kind of wait for it to hit Netflix. But if it's doing its own thing, it's kind of interesting. If I hear good stuff about it at the time, then I'll probably check it out. I don't know. It's like I'm not a huge Pixar person, so it's not like, oh man, I gotta go see this. Like this is good. That's not my mentality about it. So.
Yeah, no, and I mean it makes sense. I mean, for me, the thing that really got me excited is just seeing the creators of it. Allie, like the creators being from Inside Out, Toy Story, etc. Like, does that get you excited for this? Because I know you're probably a fan of Pixar in general. So.
Well, I used to be like a really big fan. I would go see every Pixar movie that came out, but ever since Cars,
Yeah.
it's been kind of like I don't really care that much. The last Pixar movie I saw in theaters was Toy Story 3.
Damn.
Wow.
So
that like
it's been a
Cars
while.
personally mugged you and then kicked your dog afterwards.
I hated Cars, man. When it came out and I saw that, I was like, "What is this? Pixar? What have you done?" And just seeing all the merchandise for it, and kids like, "I got Cars." I'm like, "Shut up!" You're
Yeah.
wrong with the world. No, but yeah, I keep hearing that Inside Out is a really great one, and I really wish I had seen that. But I think it's more that the funny thing about me is that I don't really like kids that much.
Damn.
But they like me, and it's like I would love my own child.
Sure.
I love my nephew. I love those kids that are related to me. But any other child, if they're not like well behaved, I'm just like, screw you. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Like the worst thing when you go into a movie theater, like opening weekend, and you see a Pixar movie or any animated movie, are kids kicking the back of your chair. I did not say I hate kids.
No, you said you hate kids, and you said
Yeah,
you
you
steal
literally
tickets.
I hate kids.
Dang,
And
okay.
she steals tickets, man. Okay,
Okay.
like.
I would have
I'm
wrote
sorry,
it
it's just I see it too often. I just see it too often where people don't know how to freaking take care of their kids. They don't know when their nap time is, and they're in the freaking theater screaming their butts off, kicking the back of the chair. The parents don't do anything, even though if you tell them nicely, I'm sorry, your child is disturbing, kicking my seat. Could you please, do your job?
Yeah, exactly.
You just said
No, hey, Allie,
like, could you please, stop him or her from doing that? And they'll be like, yeah, sure. And then the kid will do it, and I'm just like, oh my god. So that's why I don't really go to the theater and see a kids movie anymore, because I'm just sick of being in a movie theater filled with kids that are screaming or either kicking your seat or just running up and down the freaking stairs or in the front of the theater. So it's like, hey, you kids have a great time. It's your movie. That's great. I don't have to succumb to that, to the annoyances. So I just don't go see the movie in theaters. And then by the time it gets out on Blu-ray, I'm busy going to see something else or wanting to see something else that I just don't. I put that on the back burner of seeing any animated movie. Because usually, like, if I don't see it in theaters, I'm not going to go out and, like, for the most part, I'm not going to rent it.
Yeah.
Like, if it'll come on TV, if it's on HBO or something, I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll record it. I'll see it then. Or if it's on Netflix or if it's on Amazon or whatever, I'll be like, all right, cool. Let me put this on my list that I won't touch for, like, maybe a good 6 months before I actually get
Collecting
to it.
dust, virtual dust.
Yeah, basically collecting virtual dust. That's how I am with animated movies. I still haven't seen Frozen. I'm like probably one of the only people
No,
on
I
the
haven't
Me
seen
too.
freaking
No,
planet.
neither am I.
You're not
Okay,
missing
good.
it.
Wow.
Okay, we're doing a Frozen Day next.
I feel like
Nope.
everyone has seen Frozen, and I'm like that one person who hasn't seen it. It's like when a person who hasn't seen The Lion King at this point. That's how it's gotten.
Yeah.
I
Now
feel
that
really
is where I
embarrassed to
draw
say
the
that.
line. How dare you un-American people not watch The Lion King?
Yeah, I'm Canadian.
That's how it's gotten. That's how it's gotten now with like Frozen. Oh my god, you haven't watched Frozen? I'm like, no. Somehow I know all of the songs, but I haven't watched the actual movie.
Honestly, at that point though, I've heard the song so much. I'm kind of like, no, I've seen the movie now. Like I've heard all the songs. There's no reason to watch
I
it.
know. How do I know all the lyrics? How do I know all the lyrics to like let it go? And I still have not seen this freaking movie.
I actually just watched Frozen a couple of months ago, and when that song played as early as it did in the movie, I was like, really? Like, because after that, the movie just pretty much goes on. Like, I was just like, well, why was this song so overhyped the way it was? I don't get it.
That's funny. I lived under a rock, so I didn't hear the song for the first time till like 6 months after the movie, so everyone was already sick of it. And the first time I heard it, I'm like, not bad. Not bad. I didn't hear it.
It's a good
The
song.
first time I ever heard it, I'm like, I didn't get sick of it because I didn't hear it all the time. So I'm like, it's not bad of a song, actually.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good song, but just in the context of the movie, I'm just like, what the frick? Like, it doesn't make sense anymore.
Hey,
Wow.
Beauty and Guest isn't like that's the most catchy song of Beauty and the Beast, and that can't be late in the movie. That's like halfway, isn't it?
I don't know, but here's the thing. Though,
Meanwhile, every song in The Lion King is good, so I don't want to hear this.
I just
And
want
like-
to bring up one thing.
True.
Trey,
Oh,
for the first time, and I think it's the first time that's ever happened that someone said "frick" on this fucking show. Like, I'm kind of like taking it back. Like, I was like, "What the frick?" What? So,
Frozen's
shit.
my favorite show, man. I can't help it.
But no, Jenny's in the call. Jenny, how you doing?
Jenny.
Hey guys, how are you?
What's up?
Hey there. Yeah, I saw you talking shit about me in the chat, by the way. So fuck you first of all. But secondly, no. But secondly, like, are you a Pixar fan at all, or?
Yeah, very much so. Why am I hearing myself right back? Okay.
I think that might have been Cedric. He popped in.
No, yeah, I'm a really big Pixar fan. I mean, The Incredibles is one of my favorite movies, hands down. I remember
Yeah.
watching that so many times when I was younger, and like Wall-E and really, really good films, like just good films, period, not just animated, but film-wise, they're great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so what do
they've
you
had
think
some
about
missteps.
Coco? Like, because watching this, like, I mean, do you see that this is kind of similar to everything else, or are you kind of like, yeah, not really?
I'm quite interested in it. I've really wanted to see The Book of Life. I haven't seen it yet. I'm probably gonna go watch it soon because this is coming out, and I like to go kind of compare and see how they both work out. Because I do have a really big fascination of Dia de los Muertos just from taking Spanish in high school and middle school. And that the whole festival is very fascinating, and it's a very cool thing. So to see kind of bring more to a mainstream audience is kind of a nice thing. Yeah, I kind of get some of the whole hype of, hey, they might have ripped off Book of Life, but
Yeah.
it'd be interesting to see how they both turn out. And they're both good. You know, that's awesome. You have two really good Dia de los Muertos movies.
Yeah, no, exactly, and that's the thing too. Like, I'm hyped for it in a sense, and not because of the actual trailer. Because the actual trailer, to be quite honest, I mean, it looks somewhat interesting. I love the animation and everything, but it's like, yeah, I mean, I know how the story is gonna end up, and I know that it's not gonna be a real big thing. Plus, when it is a real big thing, it makes me fucking sad, and I end up crying or feeling like shit, and I don't want to watch movies to feel like shit, Alan. Like, god damn it. So the big thing is the people that are actually making it, the creators, and they make sure to put that shit in the trailer because they're like, oh man, like these people made Toy Story, etc. You will come to see this shit, like it's gonna happen, and they totally sold me with it. So with that said, I'm kind of curious, because I don't even know the names of these people. I just said, oh, you made Toy Story, I'll follow them. But for you guys, and here's the question that I have, the question of the night is, as far as creators in the animation industry go, who are people that you typically follow in the industry, no matter what their project is? Like, as long as you see their names on there, you're gonna follow them no matter what. Like, I'm gonna start with you, Alan, because I saved you for last in this other topic too. So yeah, like as far as Pixar and everything, are these guys that you follow all the time, and who do you follow usually with animation?
Honestly, that's the thing. Animation's always been more of an Anthony thing, and I've been like interested in it, but ever since I was a kid, I kind of grew out of watching animated stuff almost in general. The last animated thing I saw was Zootopia, and I loved it, but I can't think of another animated movie I saw prior to there. So honestly, with this, it's like I don't really follow. I follow more of the studio, like a Pixar type thing, or DreamWorks, like because they have a name behind them as opposed to individual animators.
No, that makes sense. What about for video games too? Because the question's a little bit different for you because you're not as much of a movie guy as you are a video game guy. So
Yeah.
like for video games, like is there a certain style or a certain group that works on games? You're like, I'm gonna follow them. Like the guys who made Assassin's
anything,
Creed.
almost any, I know they get a lot of crap. Almost anything that Ubisoft ever publishes, I'm like day one buy, 100%. Right off the bat with them. The same thing with Valve, and most of the time Rockstar. Anything that they've had an established name that they've been doing shit for like 10, 15 years. I'm so sick of the whole, oh, we worked on this game 20 years ago. Now we're going to release this shit. It's like, it's not 20 years ago. I don't care. Like, consistency is what I look for in a company.
No, yeah, and then here's the thing too, man. Like we can talk shit about Assassin's Creed all we want as far as DLC stuff, etc., and even Ubisoft. But I mean, does that not look fucking amazing? I know that's not gameplay, but even though they're doing these CGI things, it's just like watching a movie, and it looks fucking incredible. Like,
Well,
like
that's why I was bummed that there wasn't a CGI trailer for this E3. Like they just did mostly gameplay stuff for Assassin's Creed. Because I love those trailers. I agree, those are fantastic.
Yeah, like even if I'm not into it, I'm gonna enjoy watching that. Especially like let's just pretend we were all at E3, like physically. Imagine that coming down the screen. Like that's fucking hype. That's like, oh man, like Assassin's Creed going
Yeah,
on.
one of my favorite game trailers of all time is the Revelations game trailer. It's a kind of a mix of live action and CG background. I'll post it in the chat. It's one of my favorite ones of all time because it blends music, animation, and just live action fight choreography in one of the best ways I've ever seen.
Yeah, that one's
I
great.
remember-
And also, I love the Unity one too. If you've seen that one, like for such a crappy game, that trailer was.
Hey,
Okay, is that
Crappy
officially
is
the
subjective.
crappy? Is that officially like a crappy game now? Because I still remember it being somewhat hype. I remember people not talking too bad about it. I mean, like I know it's kind of getting off topic in a little way, but like Justin, like I mean, you really hate this game, or
Crappy is over exaggerated. It's the problem that it was buggy upon release. I mean, I know everyone talks about the bugs, but they were there, and it was just mostly that I was not very invested in the story compared to Revelations. Like Alan said, that one's a great trailer and it's a great conclusion to that arc of the 2 trilogy.
Yep.
With 2 Brotherhood and Revelation.
Yeah.
It was a good send off.
I just like Allie. You do know this is gonna be the new joke, right? You hate kids,
I know.
right?
It didn't stick with Anthony too much, but I think you nailed it with the whole Darth Vader fucking killing kids. Yeah, like,
I took that. You know what? For me, that's more
Allie
of
killed
like
younglings.
this is a threat. To like, I'm gonna put my lightsaber on. I'm not gonna kill you, but just so you know what's up.
nah, instead of oh, I killed all the younglings. Yeah, I killed the younglings. What's your big fucking deal? So what?
God damn. This is awful, man. Like,
Ellie is vicious tonight.
I know. I had no idea that this was living inside of her this whole time. It's just kind of like this hatred for children.
No, like kids who are well behaved are great. They're a joy to be around. You know, when they're you know,
And they're
intelligent,
germy, and they're
smart.
fucking disgusting.
No, but man, those kids are like, ah! They have like stuff on their hands, sticky stuff, and they have germs. They just pass them on to everyone. I always end up getting sick when I'm around kids, like a bunch of kids. It's just how it
Nah, man, you gotta blame, like, kids are always gonna do whatever they feel because they don't understand anything that's going on. I blame parents that don't give a shit about their kids. They let their kids just kind of run around, don't kind of keep an eye on them, or they're holding their kids in improper ways. That pisses me off more than a bunch of rambunctious kids. Come on, we're all stupid kids at some point.
Man,
You
the
know?
thumbnail to this show is gonna be a fucking fist and a little kid's face. Like that's totally gonna be
You could have the Arthur fist.
Now I wonder what Allie was like as a kid, because then I'm gonna be like, well, consider what.
Actually, I was very well behaved.
I
imagine how
window
mom,
and like,
She played no games. My mom played no games. Neither did my dad. I knew to freaking respect my parents at a young age, and I even had a freaking nanny when I was younger.
I don't know. I kind of imagine I kind of imagine Allie as the Helga Pataki of children.
Yeah. And that's the thing I'm thinking too.
Yeah, man.
I don't know, man. Like, I'm sorry. I know we're off topic and everything, but I just love this whole like, fucking idea. Like, if we look at Allie's closet, it's gonna be like a Freddy Krueger shirt and everything too. Like, just.
Oh, damn. It's going darker by the second.
Yeah.
Welcome to your nightmare.
Man,
Oh,
I
little
hope that
piggies.
I hope if I ever decide to be like to be a teacher in daycare, I don't see this freaking life.
That gets deleted off YouTube.
Dude, that shit is not happening.
Could you imagine?
Don't worry, I'm never getting into that anyway.
Well, we were about to hire you, but then someone anonymously sent us this link to this one YouTube channel.
I hate kids. It's like all remixed.
There's an auto-tune remix of it.
I hate kids.
I hate kids. They're germy.
Yeah.
Germy.
Sick hands.
No, my mom was like, I made a mistake once. That was it. I never
Oh my
did it again.
God.
What?
Wait. Allie
No,
just said
like-
that she's a mistake.
No. Like if I made a mistake, I'm
Oh.
saying like.
Okay, because that sentence was dark as fuck.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, I must have like skipped. The audio must have skipped because I
It
said
did,
I
because it
will-
literally said
No, my mom planned to have me. Okay, my parents planned to have me. Okay. Oh no.
Dude, Allie,
Can we move on? Because this is going to get worse before it gets better.
Yeah.
I wanted to go back and watch this afterwards and just watch that part of like.
And
My
I'm
mom
everyone in
said
the
one
chat is
mistake
just like,
and I'm done.
Oh my God, Ellie, are you okay?
everyone's just dead silent for a second because they're like, what's going on?
No, man, it's gonna feel weird trying to get back to this shit.
Okay, so yeah, I wasn't the only one who heard that, right? Everyone else heard that too.
Everyone.
Oh, yeah, we all heard that, man.
Okay.
Dang.
But as far as animators, like Justin, I mean, I'm sure you care a lot about this stuff, man. Like animators, do you follow particular animators in certain projects, and just no matter what they do, you're just with it, or?
You know, it really just depends. I mean, I'm more the director guy myself. I mean, animators, directors, kind of the same thing in some degrees.
Yeah.
But you know, when it comes to animated films, I don't really have a particular favorite animator. I mean, there are directors who are more consistent, like, you know, say, well, I mean, back in the day, Brad Bird and, you know, Andrew Stanton and those kind of people were consistent animator directors to follow. But, you know, they've all had their hits and misses. You know, Stanton did Finding Dory, so just saying.
Yeah.
But
Mistakes that made $1 billion.
well, you know, again, that's the industry look at that, where it's like, oh yeah, if it makes money.
Million.
Okay, fine, Alan, you win. Yes, that is the best movie ever because it made $1 billion.
I'm just saying, it's not a mistake if it made $1 billion.
You know what else made a lot of money? Batman v Superman. Just
No, it didn't. That was
No.
Suicide
No,
Squad
hey,
made a
Justin,
lot
no,
of money.
Justin makes a point there, dude. No, fuck
Yeah.
that. That's a huge
Yeah, but it
one.
also underperformed.
It still made a lot of money.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Wait, what
I'm
happened?
just saying, like, I mostly focus more on like specific directors for films. You know, for me, like animators, it comes and goes. It just depends on the project they make, especially. So, and I'm not as familiar with animation as someone like Anthony would be in comparison.
Man, this is awful. What's happening with you? But yeah, no, I agree though. And here's the thing too, Alan. Like I gotta say, like I never on Justin's side, but man, when it comes to money, that shit doesn't mean fucking jack, dude.
I'm just saying, he said it was a
Yeah.
mistake. If it's something that's bad, sure. A mistake doesn't make $1 billion. A mistake is like Battleship that makes like $2.50 after its budget. Okay.
Alan, if you look at the list of the top grossing movies of all time, I'm sure half of them are films you hate. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
they are, because 2 of them are Avatar and Titanic.
But they're successful, so clearly they made $1 billion.
They're not a
They're great
yeah, but you said it was
movies.
a mistake,
So you're
man.
wrong. No.
No, the thing is though, I
Wow.
will say James Cameron though, like that guy must be the best talker for anything. Like anything he works
He
on.
is.
He
You know.
is.
And,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's funny because we're talking about those two movies, but like animation's a big thing too. Like as far as like Avatar, like that's basically an animated fucking movie, like the whole
Yeah,
goddamn
pretty
thing.
Well, and you know,
Yeah.
I think the guy who does the Avatar animation, if I remember, it was Joe Letteri. So usually you see his name on a visual effect credit for a movie. The animation and the visuals for a movie will be great. You know, considering like visual effects animation.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, I don't know, man. Maybe I need to watch more of his stuff because I will say, you know, it looked pretty. So you know, I don't know. But Jenny, like, who are some animators or people that do animations that you always follow?
Well, I'm kind of like everybody else. Like, I'm more follow like directors or like usually I'm weird because I follow like soundtrack artists. Like,
Yes.
if there's an artist who like has like a really good record with having really good soundtracks to movies, like I will definitely go listen to their soundtrack after the film and kind of compare it to their, you know, other. I
Yeah,
can't think of the word now.
yeah,
No,
projects,
what's
whatever,
an
yeah.
example? What's an example of one you can think of? For
Yeah.
soundtracks?
I'm kind of okay. I know Hans Zimmer, like a
Yeah.
lot of his music can be predictable, but he has some really good soundtracks. Like I will go back to Inception. Yes, everyone makes fun of the blah sound, but the soundtrack itself is actually really, really good.
Pirates of the
And I feel like-
Caribbean.
Yeah.
and I'll listen to it on occasion. Same with James Newton Howard. Unfortunately, with him passing away, kind of fortunate, but like he had really good soundtracks.
James
Wait,
Horner
no, no,
passed
no.
away.
James Horner.
Yes.
That's it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
James Horner.
James Newton Howard is very alive. Don't worry.
I'm so tired. Can you tell? But yeah, I'll listen to all their soundtracks and stuff because I'll follow their work in terms of soundtracks. Usually, they're working with really good directors, and
Yeah.
their quality is usually pretty good.
Yeah, and usually the best soundtrack people, they have that working relationship. Like, there's a reason they get picked for all the movies like Christopher Nolan and Hans Zimmer because they clearly understand each other. They clearly understand what creatively they want to do with the visuals
Yeah,
and the sound.
I will-
So.
I will point to the Dark Knight soundtracks because those are really good soundtracks.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Even if Dark Knight Rises is not a good movie, the soundtrack is really good.
Yeah, no, and I completely agree with that too, man. Dark Knight, man, that shit gets you fucking like, every single thing seems so epic. And with no music, it'd just be like just a guy talking, like, yeah, hit me. Like why would I give a fuck about you doing that? Like,
Yes, soundtrack.
Yeah, that soundtrack, which is the way it's like, it just keeps going.
I
up,
listen
like-
to it. I listen to it daily while I'm like
Daily?
driving to work.
Yeah, because you have to fight with the kids, you know?
Do you do that like as you're telling the story about how you got that smile? Like
No, but I do. I listen to a lot of
my
Hans Zimmer.
mother
Yeah.
said I was a mistake.
Okay.
Stop creating this in the
It's
book,
okay,
guys.
Allie. In about a year,
On.
it's okay, Allie. In about a year, they'll come up with a new joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, please, someone else mess up, please.
I would like to just right now just lay to rest the alley foot joke that has now passed away.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, I hate that one.
It's okay, Allie. You gotta get used to it after a while.
It's what
I'd
the
rather
life.
have a foot. I'd rather have a foot.
Like children. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
It's made it so much worse now. It's so much worse.
She'd
That's
rather
usually
have
what
the foot-
happens.
It's
She'd rather have the
her
foot than
saying
be a
that, I'm like,
child-killing mistake.
it's like it's funny now because like now with her saying that it's like welcome back foot joke. Like
Please, just keep playing. That joke's fine. Just keep it going. I hate that my mom walks in the room. I have a speaker on, and you're like, "Oh, Allie's mom thinks that she's a mistake." I'm like, what? Please don't do this to her.
That's fucking awful, man.
No, she went through a lot to have me. No, it was totally not a mistake. She literally had to have surgery to have me. Okay, there's no way in heck.
No, we know your mom. She sounds like an awesome person, so we know that's not
She
true.
is an awesome person.
But I mean, I don't know, man. No, but back to this though, man. What you call it? Adrian,
Animated.
actually. Adrian,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure you're gonna be someone who's gonna say, you like movie direction, or whatever. But do you care a lot
Yeah.
about animation stuff and animation studios and whatnot?
I like animation, but I'm like the rest of you. I'm more like follow directors and
Is there anything
Stuff
that's
like
kind of
that.
stood out to you as far as animation goes, where that's your go-to for if someone's like, "Hey, what's your favorite animated movie?" You like bring up a certain couple of movies.
I
No,
can't think of one specifically. Sorry.
maybe it was just the animated parts of that Beauty and the Beast. Like I don't
Oh,
know.
I knew you were gonna do that.
No.
It's getting old.
Leave her alone.
No, man, fuck that movie, dude. I swear to God, I hate that
Oh, fuck
fucking
you.
movie. That movie's so fucking trash. Oh my God. No, but
Low blow. Low blow.
no, but Trey, how about you, man, Mr. Anime Night himself?
Yeah, I'm more on the anime side of things, not like in the mainstream. Because, like I said, I used to love Pixar. Pixar used to be my go-to in terms of American things, but I've kind of gotten glad on that. But anything made by Studio Gainax, Studio Twigger. Oh God, I said my
Wait,
word
Jesus
wrong.
Christ!
Wait, what was that word?
Man, that studio's
I heard
black
a
as
T.
fuck.
I heard it.
Okay, wait. So
I
there's
heard, I heard
a
a T.
twigger. What is a twigger in that
Yeah,
case?
leave me alone. I say my W's like my R's. My R's like my W's. I'm from Houston. Leave it alone. Twigger.
I've been giving him shit
Everyone
for years.
focus on his pronunciation.
I'm from the South, Allie. I can't help it.
No, Allie,
Exactly. Everyone should make fun of him.
no, Allie, no. The reason why I'm not gonna do that because there's a hard R at the end, and no one's gonna make that fucking joke too often. That is scary.
Oh,
Stop being such a twigger.
This has been a great day.
Great show, guys.
Studio Gainax is also my go-to. My number one movie from them is Kiki's Delivery Service. That movie
Oh,
was my
yes.
childhood. I used to burn out the VHS tape of that movie. I freaking love that movie to death. And a recent thing of an indie animator I used to follow this YouTuber named Monty Ohm. He made Haloid, which was Halo versus Metroid and Dead Fantasy.
That sounds
I
like a
was
power
obsessed-
energy drink. Like, oh, get some Haloids.
Hey.
Like,
I actually saw that. That's a really good animation. Like,
I was obsessed with Monty Ohm. Like I was following his deviant art. I was loving every animation he put out. I almost had a chance to meet him because there was a time where the very last Phil.con happened and they were teaming up with Rooster Teeth. But I was with my crazy ex at the time and she didn't want me going anywhere without her.
Aw.
And I didn't want to spend money on her. And ironically enough, that same year, Spill went down, and then January the following month, he died.
God damn.
Ominous.
Yeah, so I never got to meet him, and I always regretted that because I was like, man, I could have met that guy, but because of my ex, I didn't. So that was always a regret of mine. I didn't get to meet one of my favorite animators, and he has a show still going on called Ruby RWBY, which is it's great. I like it, but I really miss him. Like I can tell the animation's kind of bland without him. So
Okay,
yeah,
Ruby,
that's
though?
always my.
I was wondering, Trey, what do you think of last season of Ruby? Because I'm into that too.
I'm not on that season yet. I'm actually on season 3. I just made.
But I'm not going to
season
spoil
3.
anything.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Actually, I want to ask this actually, Ruby, because here's the thing: that video game, the gameplay of the video game on Steam, both 90s and Anthony showed me that game, and I was like, holy shit, I want to play this so fucking bad. But did the game come first before Ruby, or Ruby is a TV show that the game's based off of? Like what?
Ruby's the
Oh,
show.
the animation came first. The animation came first, and then the games in between seasons 1 and 2. 90s and Anthony ended up not liking it. Me, I'm kind of about it. Like I like the action because it reminds me of that Devil May Cry, Bayonetta high octane action I like in games, Metal Gear Rising kind of games. But other than that, like there's really nothing to offer story wise. But if you're wanting a hype game, that's a good game for you. So.
Yeah. Now, big main event over here, Allie, and she's looking off into space like, but am I a mistake? No, okay, I'll stop now.
Ah!
the worst joke we've ever ran with, and we've done a lot of shit.
No, that's it. I'm done now. I promise.
No, you're not.
Yeah. Stop lying. Stop lying.
No, but animation studio wise, who do you follow no matter what project they're gonna do? You're pretty much like, nah, like these guys I'm gonna follow and I'm gonna love this shit. Like, you know what I mean?
I used to be like, oh, WB animation. Yeah. Because I really like all the DC stuff. But lately I've just been like, oh, this is. After the Killing Joke, I was just like, no.
Yeah.
No. If they bring back a TV show that's not Teen Titans Go, maybe I give that a chance. But because like they said, Young Justice is supposed to come back, so I'm like, okay, if it's the same, animated studio, I'm like, all right, totally on board. But yeah, that's about it, really. The only other thing I can think of is like for anime, I don't know the studio, but basically they look very similar. Whoever did the animation for Nana and Paradise Kiss, I really love the animation style, just the way, because the characters look so different from what you usually see in anime. So I would love to see more from whoever does the art or animation.
You say
for
Paradise
those,
Kiss
anime
or
shows.
Kids?
Paradise Kiss.
Okay. I'm sorry. No, I know kids
Yeah.
the trigger word today.
I'm like, are you trying to trigger me?
It was animated by Madhouse.
Oh, by
Madhouse, thank you.
Yeah, that Madhouse. They're the ones who- They did Batman
Yeah, I
Gotham.
think it looks so unique. Yeah, it looks so unique. So I would love to see more from this animation studio.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. This looks like damn near like a video game. Like, I don't know. I mean, I was going to talk more just in response to you, but I'm kind of getting lost in just this stuff. Like, this kind of, I mean, it doesn't look amazing, but, like, just the way it's done, that style is kind of like...
Yeah, the art style is so different. When you think of anime, you just don't think of something like that. So that's what really made me, like, latch onto it in the first place. And then the actual shows are really, really good. It's not really, like, your typical fan service type of anime. They just really grounded. No. we were talking about anime earlier. We were like fan service, and I was like, oh my god, I hate it. But yeah, it's just a really good show that happens to be animated, but it takes things really seriously, and it's kind of grounded in reality. So that's why I really like it. So I think it's something that a lot of people would like if they're not really into anime as well.
Yeah, so no, I didn't want to trigger you at all. Okay, I really thought it was. I thought it was Dude, I'm serious, man. Like, that's a really unfortunate name for a fucking company, man. Like, Jesus. God, man. But no, people, I'm gonna go. It's time, man. Like I told you, I was gonna be kind of short and everything, so we're ending the show off. No, I'm just playing. But that's Flex and Chill, man. There we go.
Yay!
Movies. So many movies. Holy shit!
Oh yeah.
What should we do?
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, hey.
Yo. Yeah, man. So there is so much, man. There is so many movies that I've seen recently. I'm probably not even gonna talk to get to even half of them. But Jenny, I'm gonna go and start with you, actually, girl, because I don't see you too often. So yeah, what you been watching? Netflix or anything?
Well, the one thing I've been wanting to talk about, because I haven't been on Netflix and Chill in a while, even though this came out a few months ago, was the new season of Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Ooh.
Nice.
Nice.
That was, that came out like beginning of June. Beginning of April. When the hell did it came out a while
It's been a
ago.
while.
It came out at some point in the last century.
Yeah.
It came out sometime in spring. I don't remember when. But no, because as a backer of the Kickstarter, I got to have a little bit of exclusive access before it dropped on Netflix.
Well, they gave you because I saw a thing you posted. They actually gave you a shout out in the credits, right?
Yes, they did. Because
Wow,
I
nice.
backed the show. So I actually found a couple of my other friends who are MST3K fans in the credits in the respective episodes too. So that was kind of cool to see that. But yeah, the season itself, you could tell they're trying to kind of establish it with a new cast, new crew, because it's been 17 years since it went off the air, so it's been a while. So they kind of have to get back into it, and it's a whole new cast and stuff. So you have to appease the old fans and the new fans, and I thought they did a good job. My favorite episode is actually the second episode, Cry Wilderness. It is the most batshit insane story about Bigfoot, but it's not actually about Bigfoot. It's just the most crazy movie. It's the movie itself. It's ridiculous. It's like it brings in Bigfoot, but Bigfoot's not really a big part of it. It's about the wilderness and how nature is awesome, and it's a really bad movie. And the jokes just fucking nail. Like they fucking nail the jokes in that one when they're riffing it, and it's a great one. So I highly recommend it if you like watching bad movies and getting them riffed on. It's a good season, and I hope they make more seasons.
That's the thing too. It's just funny. Like, I mean, I know that people just like to watch it. I mean, people love bad shit sometimes. Like, The Room is something that's kind of entertaining, whether or not it's bad. But like, it's a weird genre. Like, it's like there's people out there that are like, man, I wish I could make a bad movie, and then people like it. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's
more the situation of people that were trying to make good movies that just did stupid fucking decisions and had no idea what the fuck they were doing with life. Because when you try to make a bad movie, it almost always backfires and ends up just being like unwatchable.
Yeah, and that's frustrating to me.
Which makes me really intrigued. I know this sounds weird, but I really want to go see the Book of Henry because of all the reviews
I've heard about that. Yeah,
it comes out of nowhere.
It is.
Oh wait, what's up?
I heard like it's insane. Like it's a movie that's trying to like had good intentions, and it goes off the fucking rails.
Yeah, no.
And it's just insane.
Oh, but hey, Dejan's in the call. What's up, Dejan?
Hey, Dejan.
Hey, Mr. Mustard himself.
Now you're in your kitchen, man.
Yeah, I'm in my kitchen now. So, I'm cooking with that mustard.
Oh, no.
Can you...
I'm just glad that
and yes, you can cook
with that mustard.
Oh, no, I'm actually just glad that you're able to like make the joke about it yourself now. Like before, I'm pretty sure you were annoyed.
Yeah, it's now become self-aware. Meta.
Yeah, wait till it gets as annoying as Ragnarok, and then you're gonna fucking hate it. Like, we'll be on the show as a big thing of mustard. Yeah, but no, man. Netflix
I'm triggered.
No, oh god. Sorry, Trey. That's your new thing now too. Actually, I'm never gonna say it. It sounds too close to racism. I'm not making that fucking joke anymore.
Come on, guys. I'm just kidding around.
But Dejan, no, Flex and Chill, man. Like as far as movies, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be Netflix. But anything you've been watching lately?
Yeah. Fortunately, I got some time to myself, and I got to watch The Palma. It's about the director of The Palma.
Yeah.
Oh, De Palma.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I know it sounds weird, by the way, because here's the thing. When people bring it up, I type it in YouTube, right? And I literally typed in like the Palmer, because I thought you said it was Palmer, man.
The Palmer.
No, but how'd you like it? Because everyone keeps saying it's boring and shit. But I mean, I thought it was kind of an interesting little thing there.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. Could I give my rating?
Oh yeah, sure, man.
Yeah, personally, to me, it would be a matinee, as it is. Well, the setup is boring. It's just him sitting there and talking. They insert clips of his film throughout the history. So they do Scarface and so on and so forth. And they touch up on Hitchcock as well, which
do you get sick of that?
The Palma copies.
Yeah.
Do I get sick of what?
No, do you ever get sick of that when people like bring up Alfred Hitchcock? Because I know like that's almost like a gimmick now, like almost like a what do you call that? Like a cliche. It's like ooh, Hitchcock, blah, blah. Like, does that kind of bother you at a certain point? People keep bringing him up on certain documentaries and whatnot, or not really?
Personally, for me, no, because I haven't watched a lot of movies.
Okay, well that's cool then. No, man, but like, would you recommend people watching this though? Because I know you give it a matinee, but
yeah, I would definitely recommend it as a full price for people who want to study filmmaking and so on. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sweet.
man. No, I do want to check it out. It's just like I said, the whole like
Mhm.
documentary style and people just talking all like calm like this and everything.
Yeah.
Like, fuck that. You know what I mean? But I mean, it might be interesting. Maybe I'll watch it when I'm trying to go to sleep one day. I don't know.
Mhm.
Adrian, how about you, girl?
Oh, I can't wait. I can't
Oh.
wait. I've been looking forward to it. So
Wait, why is everyone all
I'm-
excited? Because I'm fucking scared now.
No,
Like,
I'm
she
excited.
can talk shit.
No. So last night, as some of you know, I saw the Tupac biopic.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I saw your post.
Holy shit.
Mhm.
Well,
Oh,
first of
man.
all, I want to apologize to Guy Ritchie because somehow somebody managed to make a worse movie than he did this year.
Oh.
This
and he
was
just
an
did a-
unholy mess. Like, aside from the guy that got to play Tupac, he looks like him, and he did an okay job. But Benny Boom, like with a name like that, I mean, come on. It was just a mess. My God, he didn't give a fuck. It was just jumping from one thing to the next to the next. It was like all over the place.
He's a freaking music video director.
He
What did
doesn't
people
give a fuck.
expect?
The last time that
There's
happened.
literally a scene where a character is using an iPhone.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes,
Oh,
I swear to
no.
God.
Ah.
He doesn't give a fuck. Like, so watch that. This movie is like
So
a big
Tupac's a time
fuck you.
traveler now?
Apparently.
No, Tupac never died. Come on, guys, remember?
And like, my God, oh my God.
That's the thing. Like he looks like that's.
Yeah, and he did an okay job. I think if it was
He
a more
does a good job
competent
looking like him.
director. Yeah, and he did fine in the role, but if it was a more competent director, then maybe it would have been good. But good God, like
Okay, but like, what do you? Okay, I'm gonna do this thing that Anthony always does, and I want to turn this into an actual segment on the show. But solutions.
Okay.
Like,
Oh no.
like, what would you do as a director? Because like, I hate to, man. People are gonna get offended when I say this, and I don't
Yeah.
even know why I give a fuck right now. It's just,
Mhm.
yeah. But it's Tupac, just like Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah.
What story want to see? Like that Straight Outta Compton thing, I watched it, and I was into like everybody from that era when it was actually happening, because I'm that old. And those stories do not match. Like in the movie, that shit's bullshit. That really did not fucking happen.
yeah,
the way it did.
this was. I know, but
So-
the script is bad. The supporting cast.
But like, what? Like, it's just, and because Justin said it, and I'm like, yeah, like, what would you expect? Like, I mean, like, what did you think?
Oh, I know, but I was expecting more of something like Straight Outta Compton. A movie I really liked. It was one of my favorite movies that year. But this director clearly just didn't give a fuck. Like, it does a disservice to Tupac, and he deserves better.
What are some moments that you feel, and don't worry about spoilers, because hey, people, spoiler alert, Tupac
Oh yeah,
dies.
spoiler alert. He
I
dies.
want to ask
Yeah.
about that.
Damn it! I'm never gonna.
So there's
Oh,
there's some
that
controversy
Olympic-
about the Jada Pinkett Smith scene, right? Like,
Yeah, I know.
what do you
She's
think
not
about
happy.
that?
Mhm.
She's not happy with how she was portrayed, and
No.
she's like, "Yeah, a lot of that stuff. Yeah, that never happened. It's bullshit."
Yeah.
But as far as direction goes, because like, take away from the fact
The
that
ending, like he would do these weird like slow mo shots. Sometimes there'd be like these. There was a random scene of like an ocean and in between shots. It was when he's killed and everything. They're playing gospel music and it's slow motion and it's like slowly pans out. And it's like, it was so, like, I'm like, what the fuck am I watching right now?
they should have played Ambitious as a Rider. Like, Ambitious as a Rider, I'm a straight rider. You don't want to fuck with me. Just like falling back and just bullholes. Oh, like the whole thing. It's just,
Yeah.
Man,
because every time I read a review, because I've read like 3 reviews, because I'm not going to watch this movie, by the way. I still haven't watched
No,
Straight Outta
oh,
Compton,
don't. Please
so
don't.
just,
Like,
just the way it
that's
is.
upsetting.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's just like, reading the reviews, everyone says the exact same thing you're saying, Adrian. We're like, he's a bad director, it's a bad this, bad that. But it's like, how are you going to direct a dude who, he makes
And-
money, he fucks bitches, he...
I know, but
Like, and you can't do a thing where he's doing bad illegal shit, like, too much, because then it's like, oh, this movie's racist. It's fucking saying
No,
that.
but
Well, I know,
but he's
I know,
talked about
and-
that a lot in his music. Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand the concept of you can't tell these stories, because you look at something Eminem, like 8 Mile isn't 100% his story, but it's pretty close to what he actually did.
Mhm.
Or when you watch Straight Outta Compton, it's like, yeah, their whole, there's scenes where they're having illegal, like, military grade firearms in a hotel. They're
Mhm.
doing drugs,
Yeah.
they're banging women. It's like, you can do this kind of shit, but it's like,
Mhm.
it's a good movie versus a bad
And Tupac's life is much more than that. Before he even got into rap, he was a ballerina, and his mom is involved with the Black
The Black
Panther. So
Panthers.
yeah, they
that's
touched on that a little bit,
personally
but
interesting to put in a movie.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say this: like, if you guys want to learn more about Tupac, watch Tupac Resurrection. That was a
Yeah.
good documentary. for
Mhm.
Tupac.
Dude, my school
Ignore
teacher-
this movie. Don't watch All Eyes on Me. This is a disgrace to the actual album, All Eyes on
Mhm.
Me.
Yeah.
This is like,
It feels like
no,
a cash grab
this shouldn't have
because
been-
like
It is.
from what because like Straight Outta Compton comes out and no one really expected that to be like as popular as it was. It was a phenomena, and then they released like they announced it like a month or afterwards, like, oh, we're doing a Tupac
Mhm.
thing. They're basically trying to ride off the success of Straight Outta Compton, and yeah.
Hey, instead of the dark universe, it's the black universe.
Hey, I made the joke that I want a
Aw.
rapper cinematic universe, man. We start out with Straight Outta Compton, and then we see all the other rappers that spawn from that, man.
Well, I mean, they clearly did that because the guy who played Biggie in Notorious is the one who plays him in this movie too. So,
Yeah, he is
the
in
rap
that one.
cinematic universe.
there we go. There you
Yep.
go.
Yeah, man. I'm just wondering, like, are they gonna reboot this? Kind of like they did Steve Jobs, but they're gonna reboot this and call it "Shorty Want to Be a Thug." Like,
What?
Quiga.
Like, what's a popular Tupac song? We need a title for this movie.
Wonder why I call you bitch.
Thug Life.
what do I call you, bitch?
No, Thug Life is the one, man. I think I got it. Thug Life is the one.
Yeah.
Wow.
California
man.
Something that I haven't seen in the movie, but something that I want to point out. Why does everyone say he looks like Tupac? He
does.
doesn't look like Tupac at all.
He
Like, I
does.
don't know.
No, he
I
looks
don't
like
know,
Viola
man.
Davis, actually.
Oh, shut the fuck up. No one's gonna get that joke.
I know.
I don't know. I just keep kind of seeing it, and his face looks so bloated. I'm just like, he doesn't really look like Tupac to me. I don't know.
I agree with you, Alan.
He looks like
100%.
Montel Williams a little bit. That's cool. Maybe you can use it for
I
that.
like in Straight Outta Compton, they only showed him for like 10 seconds, but I believe the person there more so. Than I mean, I've
Yeah,
only
that's
seen
true.
trailers,
I'll
so
give
maybe
you
in the
that.
movie it's better, but
Okay, but do
Yeah.
you guys think acting is important in a movie like this, or do you think
100%.
the writing is more important?
Uh,
Like, Adrian, I'll start with you. Like, legit, because I mean, we all have certain expectations we have of movies, and I'm kind of curious where you
Yeah.
come from because I disagree with all the shit you're into. So, like, what's
Of
more
course
important to
you
you,
do.
writing or the acting?
Yeah,
Because Tupac's one
it's
and
a hard
Tupac's
one.
like, well, what do you think, baby?
I don't know. They're both. I don't know. They're both important to me.
Oh,
so.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
both
Because
important
for me,
sure.
writing is always more important because it's like if you're not going to stay true to what the fuck this is, and it's not going to be like a for sure perfectly done biopic.
Mhm.
And you got a guy who looks like Tupac. Like you're not gonna get lucky with him looking like Tupac and being able to act too and rap, etc. And you can't dig Tupac from the grave because he's alive somewhere. So it's just kind of like, right then, like make the shit like really like
I'm
give us.
the opposite, man. Like, it's something for me, it's like, just, like, the only reason they casted that guy is because he kind of looks like Tupac, but, like, when you watch Straight Outta Compton, like, Ice Cube, his son looks just like him, but the guy who plays Dre doesn't really look like Dre, but
That's true.
he gives the mannerisms. Like, to me, acting is more important because I know that what I'm watching isn't 100% the true story. Like, that movie probably should have taken a course over 20 years, but they comprise in in a couple of months. But to me, it's like, make me feel like you're telling a story or a snapshot of the story. And to me, the acting is way more important because I need to feel like these characters went through something or these people went through something and not just, oh, he did that one line that I heard about in the news. Like, no, I want to know what it was like when the cameras aren't on,
Well,
the in-between stuff.
to be fair though, you can have good actors reading bad dialogue, decent
And it
actors
worked,
reading
yeah,
okay
it could
dialogue.
work.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's there's so many different factors that can affect that, really. But sorry, Trey, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, but they shouldn't add things for dramatic effect. Like I ain't seen the movie yet. I will say that. But Jada Pinkett, like when she complained how stuff in the movie from her point of view did not happen at all, I hate that because when Straight Outta Compton and Notorious came out, there was nobody coming out saying, "Oh, this thing didn't happen. This thing didn't happen." It might have been word for word of what went on, but most of the stuff went on in that movie. Like you shouldn't add things for dramatic effect. Like this is for Tupac Shakur, who was, regardless of how he made himself seem like, and the music videos and the songs he did, he was a very influential person. Like what thug meant to him was way different from how people see as a thug now, and they should they should have represented that better than what I'm hearing about this movie.
Yeah, and the elephant in the room too is that it's from Jada Pinkett Smith because the last 2 years she's been so bored.
It's true.
And she's been driven nuts by that fucking white Batman, Jane Smith, that she's just kind of like.
Well, she's also been on Gotham, so I don't blame her for losing her.
She needs to poke another eyeball.
Making that goddamn song, man.
No,
Batman.
I refuse to fucking watch
But
that.
she keeps going through so much shit in her own personal life. Like last year, or yeah, I think it was last year with the whole Oscar so white thing.
Wait,
She's
was that
like,
her?
yeah, she'll be
Yeah.
like they
she
didn't pick Will
complained.
Smith to be, you know, like he's
Oh,
not
yeah,
gonna win
yeah.
anything for concussion. I'm like, okay, so now it's so white that fucking Will
Yeah.
Smith, you know, like tell the truth, then fucking like, bitch, you tell the truth. Like you mad because Will Smith didn't get it for more. Like
That's why I always call BS on her for that. That just seemed like a very like it's okay
Yeah.
to be angry for genuine reasons, but that seems like a very selfish motivation for why she did it personally.
Oh yeah.
yeah, and then to Will Smith not even be as mad as she was. I'm like, bitch, you're overcompensating. Go fucking star in something. Like Jesus
Well,
Christ.
Like, I'm alright. He's
Where's
like,
your
I'm alright. I
Oscar-nominated
went with
film?
Margot Robbie. It's all good.
Yeah, exactly.
Aw.
She got married.
Will Smith's like, yeah, I
They
would
freaking hooked up. We all
Oh,
know they
yeah.
hooked up at one
Of course.
point.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. No, there's too much. There's like so many off like camera like stuff like where they have pictures of them hanging out and he's like holding her in his arms and they're not filming. He's just walking around with her and shit. I'm just like, how are you not mad right now? Like, man, I swear to God,
It's
comic book
Hollywood.
stuff. No,
Yeah.
it's comic book shit too because Gal Gadot's over there looking at fucking Chris Pine like, ooh, I want some of that pine. I just fucking.
Hey, people can be attracted to other people without having to cheat, or they can still be in a relationship. Like,
Wait,
saying that once you're in a relationship, you can be attracted to another person is fucking bananas.
But
Nick,
dude,
are you trying to imply that she wants Chris Pine's wood?
Oh, don't even. Oh my god.
Ooh, that was very
I
good.
saw that coming. Like the train.
You saw that coming,
derail, and I'm trying to stop
somebody
it.
Oh gosh.
Just say,
Oh.
I love how Justin makes a pun and then Alan accidentally makes an accidental coming pun. Like,
Yep.
What? I got a train off the field. What the hell are you talking about?
aw.
Welcome to my world.
Let's
Yeah,
try to
you knocked
stop
Ali
him,
out.
man.
See what you done did.
Oh.
What you done did.
I done
You
did.
done goofed.
I didn't even mean to say done did. Wow, I'm getting old.
Get your vocabulary done, Nick.
Shoot down, man. No.
Get her done.
You know when you're a redneck when you're no, but
Wow.
no, but actually, I want to get just a straight up rating. Like, we don't have to give ratings, but I really am curious, Adrian, like what your rating would be of this movie.
Is it a surprise? Come on, tell her.
Oh, this is a big fuck you.
Jesus Lord!
There it is.
Dang.
Fuck this
Yeah.
movie right in the ass.
God.
Damn.
Wow.
Say it
Lord
like
have mercy.
Tupac.
She gave it a 2 out of 10 on her review. I've never seen her
Yeah.
give anything that low.
I
Ever.
know.
Oh, I gave Ella 0, but other than that, yeah.
Well, that was yeah, but
yeah.
there's barely anything ever that low. If you don't like it, usually
Yeah.
gives around like a 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, and that's saying a lot too, because she likes Hell or High Water in those fucking movies. So that's a big. That's
Oh,
wow.
Hell or High Water's awesome.
What's wrong with
Eh.
High Water?
It was kind of boring.
It was fucking.
Oh, you
Oh,
shut
come
you
on.
shush your mouth.
Hey, I watched the movie, man.
I did too.
Shut up, man. You better shut your face. No, but hey, no. Justin, what about you, man? What you been watching on the Flicks and Chill?
No,
Time?
please, Nick. You talk in my voice. Clearly, you do a impersonation. though.
You know what?
Never stop.
No, but
I will
in
continue.
all
Go ahead.
seriousness, well, this one I'm kind of cheating a little bit because I actually do have a new podcast that's promoting Netflix movies.
Oh shit.
So
Nice.
do you know Nick Tice, who's been showing up on the Dub Toasted shows and other stuff lately?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the guy with the whitest dude in the world. I've always just thought to myself.
Unapologetically funny or nerdy or what was it called again?
Yeah, well, so the site is called Unapologetic Geek Out.
Okay.
And so him and I got in contact through my connections on oneofus.net. We were reviewing games and stuff. Also, who's cooking? Apparently, there's
I
like
know,
It's
seven
going
people.
on for the last
Oh,
half
it's
an hour.
Dejan.
Oh, sorry.
That
Oh, is that
must
you?
be-
I like. Wait, hold on, really quick. Just I just think continue, but it's like I like how Dejan was like, "Oh wait, sorry." Like, dude, something's done. Like your house is
Done for like half an hour.
I thought I was having a
That was my
seizure 'cause I
fault.
kept hearing dinging.
No, actually, Dejan was giving Justin points. He was like, "Oh, good job. Yes, I like that site." Yeah.
Point.
through my connections with one of us. Ding! Oh, there we go.
No, but is this a site right here, man? Unapologetic.
Yes, this
Geek
is
Out?
this is Unapologetic Geek Out with the crazy dinosaur design or whatever. So basically, we're starting a little segment called Netflix and Kill. Basically, the three of us, Nick, Travis, and I, we take turns picking movies off Netflix that include at least one or however many kills. It could be violent, it could be funny, it could be any kind of movie. So I've been doing that for the last few weeks now, watching Netflix films to try and get reviews. So I mean, I'm not gonna go too deep into this because we've we have full reviews here, so I encourage you guys, check them out. They're really, really fun. So the first one we started was There Wormwood, which is totally goofy, crappy Australian zombie movie. if you just want a movie that's clearly made for $1,000 and you're just gonna sit there and laugh with your friends to watching it, watch that film. It is it is gloriously bad.
Yeah.
On the flip side, though, the film that was not gloriously bad was the one above that link there, Abattoir. So, who here has ever seen Repo the Genetic Opera?
Abattoir?
What?
Abattoir?
Oh, okay.
Abattoir.
Okay, because I heard that as Abattoir. Like, it's just an Avatar ripoff.
Yeah.
But just,
No, you know what I thought it
This is
was? I thought like Justin like knocked his front teeth out. He's like Avatar. I'm like, oh, Avatar.
I turned into Trey, so yeah.
I knew that was coming.
Anyways, this movie is directed by one of the guys who did the Saw sequels and Repo the Genetic Opera and that kind
Which
of stuff.
one? The one with Jude Law?
No, that's Repo Man. Repo the Genetic Opera was that. I swear Repo Man was a ripoff of Repo the Genetic Opera because it's almost the same plot, but one's a musical. So this is some film. You know what? I'm just gonna say this. Listen to the review, but don't watch the movie. It is unbelievably boring for a film that sounds like it has an awesome premise. Like, oh, it's this guy who takes rooms from houses with murders and death and creates this ultimate haunted house, based on these rooms. And you have to sit through an hour and a half of bull crap to get to that one scene at the very end when they show you that house. So spoiler, don't watch that movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
But on that note too, just for my last thing with the Netflix thing, just to promote the thing I watched this week, we are going to do a review of Who Framed Roger Rabbit and The Road to El Dorado coming out for the next week.
Dude, I love Who Framed Roger Rabbit, dude. That movie, goddamn. And when I was a kid, too, I actually had the costume of Roger Rabbit, and he's sleeping and shit. Like, I loved it that much, man. Like, the shit was awesome.
No,
Well,
that
Nick,
movie, it still holds up.
Yeah, man. That's what I'm gonna do for Halloween. I'm just gonna get like an adult version of like Roger Rabbit and like fucking just like wear that shit. And yeah, like I fucking love that movie so much.
No, I just want to see Nick do the
fucking thing.
No, but yeah, so just be on the lookout for that stuff in the coming week. But yeah, just other than that, just been mostly watching the usual shows. So yeah. Anyways, who's next?
Trey Cooper, Pooper Scooper. I don't know why I like doing that, dude. It's fucking stupid. It's the dumbest nickname in the whole world.
Trey Cooper.
Yeah, it's Trey Cooper. Damn, you just did the Roger Rabbit laugh yourself. Trey.
He's holding his urge to kill me right now, so.
Trey, you have to control it.
No, actually, the reason why he's smiling is because he's already thinking of killing him, so he's just like, that's holding him off, like, oh, yes, he's already dead, really. I mean, just when I think about it. No, but Trey.
He's dreaming about the murder house he'll build with me.
but as far as Flux and Show, man, like, yeah, what you been watching, dude?
Well, yesterday, actually, I decided to watch the Teen Titan movies that came out for the DC Animated Universe thing. The first thing I watched was the Teen Titans versus Justice League, which was the introduction to that. It was kind of to me. I ended up giving it a 5 out of 10 at the end of the day because the action in it was amazing. The story in it was kind of meh. I guess mainly because of Damian. I'm getting sick of Damian Wayne and these DC animated movies, like his character development going out the window. It seems like every movie he's been in, it's like he'll learn a lesson, like, but maybe life isn't like this. Then the following movie, life's like this, and everybody's gonna die, and fuck you. Like,
man, they're all a bunch of haters.
Yeah, Damian's kind of a wang.
Nah, that's Robin.
I'm just straight out sick of that. I like how they did the Raven story in that. But other than that, it was, like I said, I came out giving a 5 out of 10. The second thing I watched was Teen Titans versus not Teen Titans versus Teen Titans: The Judas Contract. Mm-hmm. Now the second movie I ended up loving a lot more.
God damn it!
They did not do the backwards character development with Damian this time. Damian was actually fully character developed and everything. And I'm just like, thank the heavens they didn't do that. That was what made me like the movie a lot more. This was pretty much because Anthony gave a review for this a couple of months ago. This kind of follows the TV show storyline, but I think I ended up liking this one a little more because the whole thing with Tara and Slade to me was developed way better compared to where the TV show they were just kidnapping her just to make her betray the Titans and everything. This was all for Slade's greater goal. And yeah, I like how the Titans were in this. I like how Dick and Starfire were, doing that mentor role and everything. This movie was just way better than me. So I ended up giving a 7 out of 10 at the end of the day. There was still a lot of the story that I was kind of mad about, but at the same time, I was like, you know what? I had fun, and this was pretty cool. So yeah.
Yeah, I fucking like this thing, dude. Like, I understand that you liked it and everything, but like, this just suffers from superheroism. Like, fucking like with Deathstroke coming out, and he's not even the final boss. Like, I'm sorry if that's a fucking like spoiler.
Wait,
or
a
something.
superhero movie that does superhero things? What a shock!
Well, it's something that I'll say this to the day I
opportunity.
die. Teen Titans can't work as a movie. It needs to be a TV show. You can't
Which they're
do all the
making.
development and make a good arc in fucking an hour and a half. You need like 20 episodes in a season.
And the thing is,
Yeah,
like,
they're
Justin, I don't know if you've seen this, but like, my main issue is like the fact that this is actually kind of serious. Like, the way Deathstroke comes out to the screen is always so fucking serious. Like, Deathstroke is a pretty menacing dude, and yet it does some silly shit. Like they're on the roof and he comes up trying to kill somebody, like legit kill, not like I'm gonna take your brain and fuck around with you. Like, he's gonna do some badass shit. And then they like do that Wonder Woman sweep thing. He falls off the roof. It's fucking like a slapstick comedy. And then the fact that he's like the big badass, but at the end of the movie, he's still not the main bad guy, and you get this huge mecha super duper boss. Like, stop!
Yeah, that ending
Like,
was dumb.
Mecha
Well,
Hitler.
no, because without spoilers, like besides Slade, like there was another bad guy as well. Slade is still a main bad guy. Matter of fact, I think at the very end, he's pretty much the prominent bad guy at the end of the day of it all. It's just, and I think Slade was done really well. Like I said, compared to the Teen Titans TV show where he was just Slade, I think they did him pretty well in this movie. I think he was, to me, Slade was pretty much the main bad guy in this. Because the other guy, he was just kind of there because for the contract, like, because that's all it was. Like, Slade made a deal with him, and then he was like, "Hi, well, you didn't get this person, so I need your girl that you got that helped betray the Titans. Yeah, I need her." Okay, so that's pretty much what that was. So that ended up making Slade the main bad guy of the movie. So I ended up liking it at the end of the day. So,
yeah,
and the third thing that I kind of want to say one more thing, I ended up catching up on Doctor Who. The last season of Doctor Who.
Nice.
I loved it. I loved it so much. I loved it. The Truff Doctor's amazing. Clara is amazing. I hate that Clara had to leave the show. If you don't know what Doctor Who is, pretty much there's this guy named the Doctor. He's been traveling for years. He gets companions to help him stay human and everything, try to keep the human heart going, even though he's a Time Lord or whatever. And he just travel going different universes. The last season was great, and I'm trying to catch up on the latest season. I just need to show up on Amazon Prime. So there you go.
There you go.
no, but
So, is this new season the one with Bill as the companion?
Yeah.
Yes, the new. I ain't on the new season yet, but yes.
Yeah, they have a
Okay,
the New York
okay.
band. They got rid of the Impossible Girl. I don't know, man. I've never, ever since Peter Capaldi took over, I've not enjoyed Doctor Who.
He's really good. The first season he was in, I was kind of mad about him too. But the last 2 seasons I watched of him, he's really came out on his own. I really love Peter Capaldi. I hate that he's gonna have to go.
I can't wait.
I really like the Christmas special. I think that's the only thing I've watched. I'm kind of behind on Doctor Who, but I like the Christmas special from this year. Past Christmas, it was really good.
But moving
Right.
on though, because Allie, I see that you're still taking shit. You honestly did yourself that hole saying you hate Damien. So
I do. I've always expressed that though. I've always said I hated Damien.
You hate kids.
Wayne, best Robin, man. Best Robin.
She hates kids.
He's the worst. He
No, he's the
ruined the
best.
Robins.
No, but as far as Flex and Show though, like what about you? I would say the whole entire question thing, but no, like you know what this is? Flex and Show. What you been watching?
Yes. So I just finished not too long ago. I know I'm like really late, but Hemlock Grove.
Nice.
Oh dear.
Oh God. Oh yes. Oh dear is right.
Damn, is it that bad?
Man, it's really starts out promising. Like the first season, I'm like, all right, I can get into it. This is weird, but like, okay, it's something I haven't seen before. But then like season 2 happens, and I'm just like, what? what happened? It's like they introduced all these rules and stuff, and they're like, hey, you can't do this or this thing, and all of a sudden that just went out of the window by the second season onwards, and it just gets weirder and weirder and weirder, and not in a good way. It's just kind of like, I cannot believe they went there. Like, oh my God. I don't want to spoil things if anyone's ever gonna watch this, but it just ended like on a really weird supernatural, like, okay, I can take it because like it's about like werewolves and whatever, but and other stuff. But like by the end of season 2, I was literally laughing just how stupid, how freaking abysmal it ends. Like, it just came out of nowhere. Like, I thought it was going to be something more cooler. You know what I'm talking about, Justin, don't you?
I've heard the stories. I've not actually seen the show, but I've read all the
Lord.
reviews and just,
Dude.
yeah, there's some stuff.
Dude, it's like... Okay, so
you should
I was
spoil
gonna
it.
say,
Yeah, I don't think anyone cares.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Yeah,
who wants to watch the cinematic masterpiece of Hemlock
I was
Grove?
about
I don't imagine anyone.
Anthony just texted me, don't fucking watch that show.
You're
I
wasting
forgot
time.
the show.
It doesn't matter in the end. Just like Linkin Park, it doesn't matter in the end. It's like, I know that was bad, but no.
It's like a Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh God, you stop it, you motherfucker!
No. Okay, so like it starts going downhill towards the end of season 1, where they I'm gonna just spoil it. So if you guys care anything about Hemlock Grove, just don't watch it. So basically, they're werewolves, which the werewolves I think are like first done really well. I think the way like the character transforms into a werewolf is like really creative, really gory. And disturbing, but really freaking cool. And so like I'm on board with it. It's like it starts off like, this person, this guy comes into this little town, and all of a sudden these murders start happening. For some reason though, like this girl just like happens to find this new guy just in the woods. She's just like wandering. She's like, oh, your fingers are like the same length. Like apparently I just noticed that like, our fingers supposed to be like this, right? But his were like exactly the same length. So like, oh, you're a werewolf.
Okay.
So, he's like,
What?
okay, yeah. So that's your first warning right there, that people actually believe this girl when she goes around school saying like, oh, he's a werewolf. They're like, oh my God, look at that werewolf. Like it's a regular occurrence in this little town. Like, oh, he's a werewolf. Like the police literally take it seriously.
That's
like
fucking
when
funny.
these killings happen,
People like
like they start investigating. They start investigating it like, so people tell me you're a werewolf. Is that true? And he's like, what? I'm not lying. Like he is a werewolf, so technically she was right. But still, he wasn't the one doing the murders.
It sounds like Monty Python.
Yeah.
It like starts off like really like kind of making fun of itself. So I'm like, okay, I can get behind this. But then, so the main character, one of the main characters, Bill Skarsgård, he's Alexander Skarsgård's little brother.
Yeah.
Which he actually like looks creepily like his older brother. Like he has the same mannerisms. I'm like, dang, it's like looking at a younger version of him. But he's not as good of an actor though. But he has this really like special relationship with his cousin or whatever. It's not like anything.
Yeah, you just made it sound like it's gay as shit. Like,
Yeah, no, it's a girl, but still,
okay.
like they're really close. Like he really like loves her, family, whatever. So then, like at the end, Famke Janssen is basically the villain.
Oh, Famke Janssen.
For this whole entire thing. Yeah, Famke Janssen. She's not bad. Like although she has a freaking terrible like British accent in the first season. But she's like, oh God, in church. I'm like, what?
Oh my.
No, but still, like, okay, so Bill Skarsgård's cousin, she gets pregnant all of a sudden, but she's a virgin. She's never had sex or anything, and she's like, oh, this person appeared to me in my dreams and he looked like an angel, and all of a sudden she's pregnant, and so like the whole first season's like, yeah, the whole season's like, oh, I'm pregnant, whatever, and then like she has the baby and she ends up dying.
Oh wow.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, she dies in childbirth. But it turns out that Famke Janssen did something happened where it turns out that the guy so you just saw like there's little like this guy with these wings. That was like the vision she had. It turns out that somehow Bill Skarsgård was the one that impregnated her. Her cousin. Which actually ends up being they're brother and sister.
What, man? Incest is making it big in television nowadays, man.
Yeah.
Right? I don't
I
get
know,
that.
right? I'm like, really? Did we have to go there this time? Oh, it gets worse though. It gets worse.
But wait, there's more.
So like, you know, they have the baby. Will Skarsgård ends up keeping it, but he like locks her in this, like, he doesn't want anyone to know about her. So he like, because no one knows that the baby survived. So he has her like in this little room in his house, and you know, has someone like, you know, take care of the baby. He doesn't really take care of her in any way. Oh, and he ends up being like a vampire, Ooper, they call it, but it's a vampire basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, you know, he's off doing his thing, being a terrible dad. And and so like all of a sudden this girl just comes into town and like she's like trying to get away from something. So like in the middle of the night, she starts driving through Hemlock Grove, and all of a sudden she gets into like this car, just like actually like on purpose causes her to get in a car crash. So then she happens to stumble upon Bill Skarsgård's house, and she's like, I had gotten in a car crash, I don't know what to do, whatever. And then so like she's staying there, and then she ends up like lactating like milk from her breast randomly, and she's like, what? And then so she's just like, okay, let me just feed this baby. I just start, you know, she just starts like wandering in the house, and she finds the baby. She's like, okay, let me just start feeding her. And so like that's why she just freaking starts like staying there. And then she meets, okay, so the guy who's a werewolf, the guy who's a werewolf and Bill Skarsgård, they're like friends. So she ends up meeting the werewolf dude, and so she hooks up with him, and then hooks up with Bill Skarsgård, and that, so like when they find out like she's been with both of them, you know, a logical thing would be like, hey, dude, like what are you doing? You know, like, or what the heck, or like, okay, let's not just get this girl away from us, right? No, the girl's like, hey, I love both of you equally, or I really care for both of you equally. And then she like goes upstairs at the end of the episode, and then the next episode is that they both had a threesome. They had a threesome with this girl.
God.
I'm like, what?
This fucking show, like, that's an issue with most shows that we're watching, man.
I was like, they didn't say anything, so I was like, okay, maybe they're not gonna go there. Maybe they're just like, okay, let's just be friends, whatever. But I'm like, oh no, they went there. They went there. It's freaking, yeah, it's freaking weird. It's
yeah.
Wow.
It gets worse though. So like at the end of the episode,
Are we just gonna recount the whole season?
This girl keeps lactating. She's like, I don't know what's happening to me. So then he's like, okay, let me go to the local doctor. The doctor ends up being this weird freaking like lizard thing, right?
Oh my god.
No, like, so she finds out that he was the one like doing all these terrible things or whatever, or he's the one that caused her to get in the accident. And so like she freaking starts like, she attacks him, and then all of a sudden you start seeing like something like crawl in his face or whatever, and you're like, okay, whoa, this could go in a weird, good, interesting direction, right? So no, so we get to the end of the season, and like all of them trying to like this, they're like, okay, so we need to take the baby, we need to have her, it's safe. So they have like the whole thing with Bill Skarsgård or Roman Goffrey is that his family owns this like corporation. So they have this like huge, like big, huge white tower in Hemlock Grove, and they just conduct all of these science experiments and stuff. And that's how like basically Umbrella Corporation. They do all these weird stuff. Actually, one of the actors that is in it, Joe De La Fuente, he's actually in Man in High Castle. I actually liked him in the show. But like he's the one leading the science thing. He's kind of a dick at first, but then you're like, okay, I kind of actually like him in a weird way. Like he's just really weird. But either way, so they go to this science tower, or the place, the facility, because they believe that she will be like the little baby will be safe there along with the girl. And then she's like, the baby has these powers because Roman has these powers.
The baby has powers?
Yeah, the baby has powers.
Why is that the dumbest thing we've heard all night?
Because like throughout the
what the fuck?
they get like they like get attacked or whatever, and the baby is able to like kill people with its mind and like.
I think I saw that movie as a kid.
Yes, it gets crazy. So like the girl, like throughout the whole season, she's seeing this baby just do these, like kill these people in front of her, even though the baby loves her. But she's like, okay, I can't have this baby. Like this baby's too dangerous to kind of be around. So she takes it to her own hands to like take the baby. She goes up on like the top of the tower. She's like, yo guys, I'm out. I'm gonna take this baby with me. I'm gonna kill myself along with this baby. And of course, Roman's like, hey man, that's not your freaking. Yeah, Roman's like, that's not your freaking kid. That's my kid. But anyway, she starts falling, and something stops her from falling, and picks her up, and it's the doctor, and he's just like this huge like lizard wing thing. It's the most terrible
This show
thing
sounds
I've ever seen.
amazing.
It looks like
I'm
a freaking
so not
like.
watching this fucking show.
It looks like a freaking manatee. Like, he looks like a freaking lizard manatee just like flying in the sky. And I was like, at that moment, I was like,
A lizard manatee.
This might be
Yeah,
so bad it's
imagine that.
amazing. I might have to actually
Yeah.
watch this
Yeah.
now.
I know, right?
No, I've seen like F reviews for this this show. Just like people who are just like, this is like,
it was
Wow.
it started off like really promising, and all of a sudden, I don't know what happened, but it just went to crap. Third season is just as freaking ridiculous.
It was on for 3
I mean, like,
seasons, guys.
they forgot, man, they forgot about this baby like for like a quarter of the show of the last season, like like 3/4 of it actually, and then they're like, oh yeah, we got to bring this back. So
I like.
oh yeah, the baby. Oh yeah, the girl. Yeah, she's dead. Whatever. But here's the baby.
Yeah, I
It's just like killing off all the characters one by one, which I'm like, which didn't make any sense to me. And then so Famke Janssen, she had this other kid. So then she's like, you know, she's like, I'm your daughter, and blah 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 blah. And so she meets Roman, which is her brother.
What the fuck? Is this fucking Young and the
Guess
Restless?
what happens?
I
Guess
know,
what
right?
happens?
They have
The
sex.
Christ.
first time they're like, he's attracted to her. They have sex.
Of course they do. Fuck
Yes.
Because that's what all
But
this
he
show
didn't
can
know.
do is
But he didn't
babies,
know.
lizards, and
No,
sex.
he didn't. Yeah,
Pretty
the
much.
first time he didn't know, but then afterwards, after he found out, he's like, he's mad at her for a moment. I'm like, yeah, I know where this is going. And then they just end up doing it again.
Man, fuck this show, man. And you watched this
Wow.
all the way to the end. Like, now I'm a little
cannot
disappointed.
believe you
At that
said
point,
that.
I was too invested, and I was just like, how crazier can this get?
Yeah, nah, I'm fucking mad. Nah, that's some. I
Man.
was like,
Hey,
That's
sometimes
how
we
I
watch
was
some
just
bullshit
like
that you
laughing
have
at
to
his stupidity.
that is some genuine
I was laughing
TV
at it.
masochism being performed here with you
Yeah.
watching
Really,
all
that-
3 seasons of that.
Oh my god, I haven't even mentioned like half of the other stuff that's
Oh my
so
God,
fucking
that's
stupid.
don't.
Wow.
and I
Just
won't
a
have you do it.
small little taste. Like I haven't even mentioned like the other characters and whatever. There's so much more going on that I'm just like, wait. Like they didn't know what to do. They didn't know what to do with any of these characters. They're like, when in
Yeah.
doubt, just kill them off.
No, I
And
know.
let
The
the
Walking
other
Dead
characters
strategy,
just kill each
Yeah, that's
Let
actually
the
what I
other
want to do with my
characters-
country.
like it made no sense. It made no sense. Like what they just developed with these characters at first. It made no sense to go to the extent they went to in the end. Like at the end, Bill Skarsgård ends up being a freaking a-hole. Although when he starts out, he's like, I really want to help people or whatever. But then he's just like, didn't care at the end. Killed his best friend's cousin, and kept it as a secret. And then, of course, he found out, and he was like, "No, you're dying."
Yeah.
And, like, yeah, we've been friends for a while, but like, no, you're dying. Like, she was basically my sister, not in that way though, but like, in like a serious kinship type of thing. And he's like, "Yeah, no, you're dying," and it just ends like with him, like he dies. All the other characters die. One character gets to live on, but that's it. Everyone just dies. Everyone dies.
Fuck
Alan's
that
favorite
show.
ending.
Everyone dies.
Wow.
Yeah, really. Like,
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, okay.
But see, here's the thing though, because
Okay.
you paying so much attention to it, I know that you at least liked it a little bit to get that far. Like, what would you rate it?
I
Like,
did like I liked. I guess I was just hoping that possibly it could get better. But like I already finished the first season, so it was like I'm invested in this story now, and I need to see what happens next. Although it wasn't very good, the rating I would give it is probably like some old bullshit. But it's like a really like great fun watch it with a bunch of people and you just laugh at it. Like first season 8, it's actually enjoyable for the most part. season 2 and 3, you can just make fun of it all you want to, because there's just so much freaking material for you to just like latch onto and just, oh my god. But yeah, it was. I just don't know what happened.
No, it sucks that it was like that, because that's the thing, man. Like, I was kind of, you're saying that there's some gory shit going on, so I was like, I don't know. I was wanting to watch it. I'm not watching it now with all that sex shit and everything. I'm not watching that fucking show.
Man,
There's
it's
no
like
way.
the gory parts are like, ooh, that was pretty like type of like, it's Eli Roth, so
Oh,
he's going to do some really.
Should've
It's
started off
not
with
as bad.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as like his other movies, but still, it's still disturbing. Especially the first season, I thought was done really well, but afterwards, it kind of like went tame with it. Like they didn't really care as much.
So
But
was
see,
this one of Netflix's first shows? Also, like just
It was.
Oh man, that went off with a fucking thumper. Holy shit!
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank goodness House of
man.
Cards came in.
Thank goodness House of Cards came out.
But, no, that's the thing. No, I'm so glad you did that, because that's the thing. Because we had to leave soon. But there's two things. There's two things I really want to hear, because, like, Fargo can wait. I'm sorry, Alan. We're gonna talk about that because I want to watch
Oh,
season
don't
one.
worry. We can take as much fucking time with that.
No, hey, I want to catch up on that one to talk to you guys with it because I'm way behind.
Dude, hey,
so.
Justin, next week, dude, would you be
Oh, I
down,
do
or think
too.
you can get done within a week or no?
If I marathon through it, I probably can because I'll admit I was kind of meh on the beginning of the season. I felt like it didn't start very strong, but I'm hoping that it will pick up throughout the season. I'm curious to see.
I'm
what
the
you
opposite.
guys
I
think.
love the first episode, but again, I've only ever seen like the first episode. I really need to watch more of it, but there's like 3 seasons of that show. There's no way we're gonna be able to catch up in like the next,
Yeah.
week.
You'd
The
be
big thing,
surprised.
though. The big thing, though, and this is something I've never been into, and as much as she said right now about how fucking crazy Hemlock Grove is, I am very curious to see how this 24 Legacy thing is, because for them to be doing this to this extent, and Alan watched this apparently, and dude, please tell me, like, I mean, is this fucking ridiculous, or is it kind
Man,
of...
It got canceled.
it's man.
Really? Already?
No,
Yeah.
you know what the worst part is? I woke up to a text message from Justin saying, "Hey, you like 24, right?" It got canceled.
Oh, Justin's an asshole!
Like, you know how you
That
like
message.
24? Well, sorry.
Hey, good morning. A show you really enjoyed just got off the air. Like, come on.
No, what Justin did is pulled off the fucking decapitated head of the show and just held it in front of Alan, like, here you go, here's your fucking show. Like,
But no, I'm glad I get to talk about this because so when 24 came out, it was on the air, and I never really watched it, like the original series with Jack Bauer and Kiefer Sutherland. But then I kind of just started watching it, and I love the show because the show's all in real time. And what they do with that is like it's an hour-long show, so it's an hour-long happens in the episode. So let's say someone's like, "Oh, I got to walk down the street. I'll be there in 5 minutes." 5 actual minutes of video. And then they'll be there. Like they'll cut, to doing other stuff. Then 5 actual minutes, they'll be there. Or, oh, I'll be there in a second. They'll actually, be there. Or I'll meet you right there. It's like it doesn't do the whole thing of 4 hours passes in an episode. It legitimately does it in real time. And that's something I really enjoyed with the original series. And after 8 seasons, I'm like, I never really disliked 24. I always kind of liked it to a certain degree, but it always has the familiar things of the terrorists being omniscient and being like the most organized people in the entire universe.
How many times can LA be threatened by a group of terrorists?
LA,
No
New York,
shit.
like dude, there's so many terrorist attacks in the Americas. But this new season, I was curious because I'm like, okay, they have a bunch of new people. They have Corey Hawkins as the main lead. So I was curious. I'm like, oh, what are they gonna do with this? And I really, really enjoyed it. From episode 1, I was hooked into what they're doing because they bring back the whole real time stuff. And one of my favorite things to do is to time if they're actually doing it right. So I'll just pause it at the first commercial break. I'm like, yay, it's like 8 minutes. And I'll just be happy for like a second. Because it's like, it actually feels like it makes it feel more real. That's like 4 hours don't pass over the course of like an episode. It is legitimately like half an hour to 40 minutes pass by in real time.
mm-hmm.
And I like how they continue doing, they managed to make commercial breaks work within the show. So they'll be like, oh, we're going to drive over there in 5 minutes. A commercial break happens. And then when the commercial break over, they're where they need to be. And I really enjoyed the acting is on par. They keep the tension up, even though it feels kind of similar to the old series of, oh, somebody in CTU is working with a terrorist. There's always some plot twist halfway through the season. There's always some sort of thing where they're almost getting there, but the terrorists get away because we have 6 more episodes. But it's still really enjoyable, really good, and it keeps the tension going. And I loved every second of the show.
So how many episodes was it?
They're doing what they did in season 8, and it's only 12 episodes. It's still real time, but they're keeping it to 12 episodes.
Oh no, that wasn't season 8. That was the half season, the one they did after season 8, wasn't it?
No, it was season 8. I remember.
No, 8 was New York.
Yeah. They ended up doing one in Britain as well, but Yeah, they kept it to 12 because they eventually kind of got to the point where it's like 24 seems to be a lot, but I've never really disliked 24. I've always enjoyed it. So
Yeah, 12 isn't really a catchy title in comparison.
no, but they keep the whole thing of real time and terrorism CTU.
You're right. Actually, I just realized that. Like, 24.
12.
12 Legacy.
Yeah, they call it Legacy because it's not like a reboot. It is like it's a continuation in the sense that the other seasons happened, but they don't really reference it. Like, if you've never seen 24, you could easily just come run in and enjoy it. And if you've watched 24, you'll start noticing the little Easter eggs, little mentions. They even bring a few characters back.
Yeah, man. But no, and then this next one. And by the way, like, just in general, what you would rate it?
Full price, 100%. I recommend checking it out. They're never gonna make a new one, but it's a contained season, so it's like even if they never ever make another one, it's still like it doesn't end on a cliffhanger. You could watch it and be happy with it.
Hey, it's full price if you already have Netflix, because you don't have to pay for it.
Yeah, because that's what I did. 100%. Yeah, pay for it.
No, yeah,
It's
no,
not on Netflix.
But now this is another one because I really fucking hate the idea of this show because it reminds me of Mad Men. But House of Cards.
Yay!
Yeah. So what'd you think of this, man? Because it looks so fucking boring.
See,
It's
I can
not for
describe
you,
to you
Nick.
the show, but as soon as I finish describing it, you'll all be asleep because it's a guy who wants to get high in politics and he starts manipulating people to get higher and higher in politics till he's at the top. That's the basic premise of the show. But when you're watching it, it's like it's almost unrealistic on how like he's short of like breaking people's kneecaps. He's like manipulating the fuck out of everyone around him, and you're like, what the hell is this? And it feels so real because of how like it's not over the top with the stuff, but it feels like everything he's doing fits how dirty and grimy politics actually is. And I really enjoyed season 5 because I was worried because season 4 ends with him wanting to be doing his thing, and Trump just starts running for president. So I'm concerned. I'm like, we're gonna hear all the Trump, the wall, all that shit in the season. But no, for the most part, they keep it relatively like you could continue watching this.
They use the Trump thing that happens.
No,
in real life
they
in the
don't.
show?
They don't.
Oh,
No,
okay.
they draw inspiration off of the politics.
No, they didn't.
Oh, okay.
That's the thing. I was afraid they were going to, but for the most part, like everything he's doing fits within character. It's crazier than the last seasons. It's a lot more interesting, and everyone's bringing their A game. Like every episode, like I sat up all night watching like 6 episodes in a row because I couldn't stop watching the second half of the season because they managed to make politics really interesting, and I don't understand how. Like they're talking about policies and getting elections and electoral colleges and pollings and stuff. You're like, how is this shit interesting? But the writing and the acting, everything feels like it has stakes. It doesn't feel like nothing's happening. Everything feels like, oh man, if this shit happens, then something else is gonna happen. Like everything is really like built up.
Yeah, because
Yeah, well, I mean, the guy who's in charge. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Oh, I was just saying, the guy who's in charge. I mean, he left this season, but Bo Willimon, he does a lot of really great political stuff like this. If anyone ever remembers that movie Ides of March that came out with George Clooney back in the day, he wrote that one as well. So this is a guy who clearly knows how to take politics and really work it into a compelling narrative. Like it's not just evil politicians and corrupt stuff. Which, I mean, to be fair, you could say House of Cards is political fantasy to some degree, but
is it though?
Well, I mean, in the sense like it's plausible enough that you might believe someone could do this, but it's not like we're not seeing like a ton of Frank Underwood's. Well, I guess you know what? Never mind. I'm not gonna finish that one. But I mean, the stuff they get away with like murder and dead bodies and stuff like that. It's enough plausibility that you don't think it's too fantastical. Because I mean, I've only seen the first season. Yeah, I've only seen the first season so far, but I do think it's great. Well executed television. I mean, it's shot well, it's edited well. David Fincher directed the pilot episode, did a stellar job on it. So if you ever, and that's the thing, like Nick, I know this show is not made for you. You would not like.
I don't know, man. He sat through Borgia, which is the same thing except more incest.
Yeah.
Well,
we enjoy quite a lot of incest, don't we? Like, Jesus.
Well,
Christ.
then Allie would love this show. So.
Hey, it's not my fault. It just happens.
You're right.
These shows have so
There's
much
less baby
incest.
murder in this one.
Oh, dude, yeah, you're right. Because there's baby murder in that fucking show she likes. She hates kids.
The joke around.
I'm sorry.
But anyways, you were saying, Nick, earlier.
No, that's the thing though. Is it's funny because I hated Daredevil season 1, or at least like the first 2 episodes, because I was like, man, it's fucking stupid. And then as I continued on, the court thing and how they had to go get clients. And then like this, and I hate romance shit. I hate chick flicks. I hate fucking like, ooh, we're getting to know each other. Fucking thing. I hate that shit. Daredevil did it where I wanted Foggy to get laid so bad. Like, Dude, like I got like, and here's the thing, Punisher, you know, he's just like, I'm gonna kill everybody, Rick. You know, he's just fucking like shooting everything in season 2, and I didn't like
Let me
that.
ask you something.
Let me ask you something, man.
Daredevil's like, stop calling me Rick.
I like how he calls Daredevil Red because it's almost like Rick, so it's like still in character. Let me tell you something, Red, Blue. No, but I fucking you know, Punisher. That would have been a really cool thing for me, seeing him like just go crazy and shoot everybody and has the shotguns, etc. I actually liked season 1 more, and it was a court / romance, whatever the fuck thing.
Yeah.
So that's why, and Alan was so hyped about it. And I'm thinking, with you being so hyped about House of Cards, I mean, you know, both of you guys, you think like maybe with that I might like this or not really?
Go ahead.
No, I think honestly, I do think again, you say through Borgia, and Borgia is the same kind of thing, except I make the joke like there isn't, you know, it's not that same crazy level of people being murdered every 10 seconds, but there are a lot of like, you know, backdoor politics. There are a lot of manipulations. There are people that bodies do get dropped over the course of the, you know, this show. So it's like, I think you would enjoy it, but I don't know, like, I don't know if you'd like it right away or if it's something that have to grow on you. You know,
It depends on if you like Kevin Spacey's character enough to keep following. Because I mean, it really.
I think he would. Like,
Well,
that's
and that's the thing,
Kevin
like, yeah,
Spacey got me into the campaign of Advanced Warfare. I loved Kevin Spacey. In that
Oh,
fucking
well,
thing.
then you might, because he's playing that type of character, but with that, you know, his crazy Southern accent that he does throughout the whole thing.
Oh,
You know, because he's kind of playing like I would say like kind of a Bill Clinton Southern politician analog kind of thing. Like not in the sense of the, you know, the womanizing craziness like Bill Clinton parodies, but you know, he's playing that idea like, you know, this guy who's played the game so long, he can really just pull all the strings and get all the people lined up, you know, all his ducks in a row kind of thing. It's really compelling stuff.
I'm thinking of, hey, like Allie, if you down to watch it one day, like I'm down to watch House of Cards. Have you seen anything of that, by the way?
I've only seen 1.5 episodes. I just started it with my mom.
Okay.
But yeah, and so far she's really liking it. So you know, we'll see how it goes. I'm not like in love with it, but I'm obviously gonna give it some time to kind of get into the swing of things.
Better if you gave him more time.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
But no, I love Kevin Spacey. He's one of my favorite actors. So anything with him, I'm like, you sold me already.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and no, they got a
Except
great
for Nine
supporting
Lives.
cast too. Like, you know, the reason why Mahershala Ali has been so popular because he shows up in the show as well, and he's really, you know, he has a great supporting turn throughout the series. The guy who played the dad in the Fantastic Four movie, which you know that movie was crappy, but he got his big break. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, he's in the show first 2 seasons as well.
Oh yeah, no, he's great too. And also, what's his name? The guy who played Ernest Hemingway in Midnight in Paris. Do you know the guy I'm talking about, the bald guy in the first season?
Oh, the Corey Stoll, yeah.
Yeah, Corey Stoll. You know,
Yeah, I
there's
love
lot
him.
of
He's a great actor.
Isn't he the villain in Ant-Man?
He's the villain in Ant-Man, and he's one of the main cast of the show The Strain, which is really fucking good.
Dude, I love The Strain.
Yeah, it's so
So
good.
you might like this
Season
then,
4, man. It's coming out soon. It's like a month.
Yeah, no, Corey Stoll is the emotional anchor that you need to balance out the evil of Kevin Spacey. Like, you know, he's kind of playing a doe-eyed politician in the beginning with his own problems. It's really good stuff to really counterbalance all the darkness in this.
Yeah, man. But no, people, that's gonna be basically about it. I know.
Actually,
I said,
can I mention one something real quick? Just a really okay. So I was making this joke. There's this show called The Sniffer on Netflix, and it got recommended to me. I don't understand why.
What?
It is the dumbest thing ever. The premise of the show is a detective with extraordinary sense of smell uses it to take a unique, what's it called? Unique angle on solving crimes, but it also takes an emotional strain on his life.
So wait, it's Chew but with smelling.
No, it's Sherlock Holmes if he can smell really well.
You know, and everyone knows Chew, the comic, where a guy eats certain parts of human bodies and food to be able to solve mysteries. So it's Chew, but with smelling.
It's just as dumb. And so I was just showing this to my friend, and he's like, "We're watching this episode." So we watched one episode. It is laughably the best thing I've ever watched in my life. So stupid on how they make his powers. Like, he could smell something and be like, "Oh, that's like 3 days old." And then they show more of his power, where it's like he could smell things and see a person like his smell move from across the room. So this is like a smell outline. So it's like if Daredevil could just smell really, really good.
That's what I was thinking.
What?
And I was wondering, like, where did this show come from? And it's some like Ukrainian or Russian show, so everyone's speaking a different language. And it's
But see, you know, what'd be funny though, dude. What is it? Because can he not see or something? Is he blind?
No, he can perfectly see. He just smells really, really well.
Okay, dude, this is the same. God, this is fucking ridiculous. Like, fuck Daredevil,
It
man.
is, but
Like,
it's so laughably
see when
bad.
it's like spine off now? Like, this is
No, 'cause
bullshit.
it's like it's taken so serious, so it's like it's not played for laughs in the show. It's taken serious, but though it makes it funnier when everyone's like, "Oh man, we need your help." It's like he just smells really good. How much help can he be? But he's like solving all these cases. It is fucking great.
So, the
Wow.
sniffer. The
It is.
sniffer.
I recommend it if you just want to sit back and laugh your ass off at this dumb fucking show.
You know, that's a bad name to Sniffer, but it's way better than the Twigger. Like, wherever that fucking thing you're into,
Aw.
Trey.
No, dude, the sniffer and the twigger should team up for like a crossover show someday.
It's called Twig and Sniff. You got left twig, you got right twig.
Oh, jeez.
I'm sorry.
I've heard so much on this show today with incest, children being killed, sniffing things to solve mysteries.
Being a
Yeah,
mistake.
most people in this call gives wrestling shit.
Yeah, nobody, don't any of y'all talk shit about wrestling anymore.
I don't, man. After Hemlock Grove, I'm done. Wow.
But no, hey, but Trey, speaking of wrestling, brother, tomorrow night, WWE, what fucking show are we doing?
We're doing the Ringside Hangouts. You can join us at Ringside. That's my main show. You know, I'm on there, so you guys can at least come for me. I mean, Trey, come on, Trigger. That's funny, right? I'll say that on the show.
Okay,
Guys,
dude.
come on.
That's scary. Don't say that word. Even though Trey's black, he's gonna offend somebody. We get in trouble. No, but tomorrow night, dude, we're gonna be doing that shit. People, if you want to come on, even if you don't like wrestling, you just want to watch it and then talk shit about it. Like, I'll defend it, and we'll have a big fucking argument, and then you will have your feelings hurt, and we can do that, and it'll be great. But yeah, with that said, though, there's only one thing left to say, y'all. And we will be going into the after hours, and whoa, he's sweating. God, here's a napkin. Here you go. There you go.
Yeah,
So
dude, I
it's
agree with you.
hot in this. We got a heat wave coming up here, and it's humid.
Fuck
so.
the summer.
I feel yeah.
Papa Molly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been terrible, man. I'm going through shit right now.
I'm
It's
turning
hot
on
as
the
fuck.
fan as soon as this is done. So.
Oh my god, I'm gonna.
But people know that this is it. This is the time. I'm gonna go ahead and show this screen over here because Trey, Anthony's not here. You need to do the countdown, man. Can I get it?
Yes, you can. 1, 2, 3.
Attack that!
Attack that
Every time there's
Fuck WrestleMania. Fuck WrestleMania.